5.
Welcome in,
5.
everybody. We got Rattle Can, Danger Boy, Sarcastic Grandpa, Paint Liquor, Wad.
Hello.
Jason and I were just...
Danger Boy says, thanks for streaming. You guys rock. That's a great way to start the show. Thank you for tuning in. You rock.
We were just discussing the inner amalgamations of my mind.
Ooh, it's a scary place.
Chat, you get a front row seat.
I would not. I would ask for a refund on my ticket.
Your ticket?
That's
Your
just me.
ticket?
That's just me.
Oh.
But I would ask for a refund on my ticket. For the front row seat to
my mindum.
Christopher's mindum.
Welcome in, everybody.
Welcome in, everybody.
We got Painting Blood Angels today.
Speaking of painting blood angels today, Chris.
Welcome in, everybody.
Welcome in, everybody.
Speaking of painting, this is a painting stream.
Is it?
We had Jordan yesterday.
And all he did was change the colors on a thing that already looked good.
And then he's going to come back tomorrow. And then
repaint it again? Is this the never-ending gobstopper?
Hey, he's Reprime Jay. We know we know Jordan. A beautiful thing about him is that he'll go that way. He's going this way, and then he goes that way, and then he goes this way and that way.
It looks great.
What are you going to do?
It looks great.
Hey, speaking of what are you going to do?
Birthday order, Danger Boy. Awesome.
Frigid Phoenix, good afternoon, Monument. Hope you're all doing well. Great to be here and happy to say I'm 3 more of my Pro Acryl paints to Pro Acryl. Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Transition 3 more of my paints to Pro Acryl.
Awesome.
Can't wait
Slowly but surely, we're rooting our way into ever.
Nice.
The forever paint. Chris just gets a rock.
Jason, you rock. Chris just gets a rock. Okay. I don't know what that actually means. Oh, there's that one's the boomerang one.
It's like the Doppler effect on that one.
That one is the one that comes back to you.
That was a good one, though. Chris just gets a rock. And it was
do I just get a rock? If you guys hear
that's like Charlie Brown. What did you get, Charlie Brown? I got this amazing candy. I got a rock.
My stomach is going to sound like that today.
I got a rock. How long has it been since you've eaten food?
I ate something today.
Oh.
And
a little gassy?
I don't know. It's just like a...
It's celebrating.
It's not...
Your stomach is celebrating.
I'm not passing gas. The gas is staying inside.
Chris fed me.
Trying to come up with a way to paint Black Legion with PA and still have contrast while still having it nice and dark.
Watch our Black Armor video.
Yes.
It'll do it.
Danger. I think I might have posted that. We had a very similar
It'll do it.
question yesterday.
It'll do it. I made a new Praetor.
A Praetor. Okay, I was going to say to you, I saw that when I was moving the stuff. That guy looks cool.
This guy's rad, right?
That guy looks...
I used the Terminator Power Fists as lightning claws for him.
I'm into it.
Because this is kind of what I always thought lightning claws should be rather than the Power Fist with the extra Wolverine claws.
This is
I like this.
lightning claws, right?
Well, it's not... This is not what... Lightning claws are...
Oh, the ones that the Wolverine style, right?
Yeah, this is lightning claws the way GW does it, but you also have a Power Fist there that doesn't come into play, so I never understood that. And so these, I thought, the Power Fist size thing, but with the sharp, long claws, I always thought would be a better way to model lightning claws. So I have some of these, and I was like, he came with the right one, and then I had the Terminator one from the Cataphracte to put as the left. And then some other bits and bobs, some neat shoulder plate, 3D printed shoulder plates and stuff. So that's my new Praetor.
No,
this guy is my Legion champion now.
Oh, okay. Legion champion.
Yeah, so this will be my Legion champion. This will be my Praetor.
Nice. Okay.
And I changed the backpack thing that busted off on him to just be a Blood Angels Cup one. But the loadout's right, so
nice.
That works.
That looks good. Danger says, I really should have just gotten the Mega Set when I started. I ended up with all the expansions and signature sets first, and now I'm filling out my set as I reach out for a color. It's not from you guys. That's what that Mega Set, you guys, is...
It's amazing. It hasn't been out... It's been out for about a year now.
Just about.
I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think
the brush-on primer is really good, Law Dog. Awesome.
I use that brush-on primer.
You want a much larger bottle of it now, regardless of cost? I don't know that that's real.
The brush-on primer?
Yeah. Jason, are you going to show off that army when it shows up? What army? When it shows up. What are we talking about?
You talking about his Blood Angels rattle can? The one he's working on?
I'm staying late after stream to do some hobby, to build. I'm in this point where it's really struggle because as I'm building models, I need to Ugh. Slow down, Jason. Breathe.
What's up?
I have a very high anxiety about this army because I'm really excited about it. I'm really enjoying painting it. It's
Right.
looking really good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the models are looking really good.
You have
I'm
a
having a
high-
lot of fun painting them and stuff and talking about them on stream. But as I'm building new models, I'm getting anxious about loadouts.
What do you mean loadouts?
Well, because I went back to the draw. I keep doing the wrong thing. I keep going back to the new recruit builder.
you're trying to make them with weapons though specific.
Well, I'm trying to get them
Weapons.
close so that I at least have a representation of maybe it's a pistol and a melee weapon.
Yeah.
And, because the general idea of assault troops is that they either have a melee weapon and a pistol, dual melee weapons, or like a single heavy melee weapon. That's
Okay.
really all they get. They don't get bolters and heavy shooting weapons. So it's a melee and a pistol or just a big melee weapon.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to model them if they have, power fists, if they have chain swords, because that's not going to fly on the table, right?
Yeah.
If they have chain swords, but I say they're power swords, I'm okay with that, or vice versa.
So you're trying to get it close.
Close.
Okay.
But the problem is going back and forth to the list, finding out that the Thunderhawk might not be the right addition to the army, because for that many points, I can get a lot more hitty stuff. So I'm playing back and forth as I'm digging into the rules. I'm not trying to meta it for a playability standpoint. I'm just like, the Thunderhawk is 685 points. For 685 points, I could get another...
You could get one of those new big old tanks.
No, I could get more Assault Marines.
Oh.
Because I'm insane and I want to paint more dudes with non-metallic gold on their trim.
But then you fall into that trap.
Right, that's the trap I'm in right now. It's like, okay, how do I do this in a way that makes the army stay fun and flavorful like it is, but not have to mess with... Not that I don't want to build a Thunderhawk. I'll still paint it. It'll still be part of the army, but as far as like a playable list and points-wise, right now I'm thinking it would be maybe be more beneficial to have more dudes.
Oh, rather than having the Thunderhawk.
Maybe, I don't know.
Could the The Thunderhawk could probably wipe out some stuff though.
The Thunderhawk is a really good shooty unit.
Yeah.
But it costs a lot.
It's a lot. 650 points. Are the claws dark blue, sky blue, and white, asked Paul?
Are the claws dark blue, sky blue, and white? Yeah, dark blue, blue, sky blue, and white blue.
Mm-hmm.
On these, we pop in close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Let me fix the focus. There we go.
Dark blue, blue, sky blue, white blue.
Yeah.
Super simple.
Cool. I think the reasoning, Rock says, I think the reasoning Lightning Claws have Power Fist, but not the ability to hit like a Power Fist. It's just a casing. It doesn't have the energy field that makes the Power Fist work.
No, because in Horus Heresy, you can get the Power Claw that comes in the Sergeant sprue is just the Power Claws that go over the normal Space Marine hand.
Oh.
So if they were all just the normal sized hand and the claws were attached to the wrist, I would agree that it's just the power, because it has like a hose, it has like a tubing that goes from it, and it's done the way you would think it should be. But in the past, they've made them big power fists. And remember, there was a time where you had the power fist that had the lightning claw that folded back on it. Some of the models had the claws folded back, and it was still a power fist.
Oh.
So I don't know if that was actually in the rules in like 3rd or 4th edition, where you could choose how to use it, like a chain fist.
That's kind of
right?
cool.
But I don't know. So the modeling has changed throughout the years, and so bits have been all over the place. But some of them have the big fist, and some of them have the regular sized hand. And I just think that I think that the way to do it would be to have the power fist be the one that doesn't have any claws, and the lightning claws to be the power fist that has the claws, the big claws, right?
Yeah. No,
like this dreadnought. You have a dreadnought power fist, but then you have these that are the
lightning claws.
I forget what they call these.
They look like claws.
They're like lightning claws, but they're flame. Perdition.
Oh, yeah.
They're perdition power claws, right? So I just think they should find some normality to the whole thing, right? It's just like, make it work.
Flapjack, 14 months. Thank you. Doesn't feel like a day over 14 years. Flapjack, we appreciate you. Mo, what's up?
Phil's like, so I'm building the Thunderhawk. So I don't need to build the Thunderhawk. You still need to build the Thunderhawk, Phil.
I think...
Rule number 1 is rule of cool, and the Thunderhawk is definitely rule of cool. I also have a Mastodon, and the Mastodon is 85 points less. So what I started with was I could build the Mastodon. It actually fits more dudes.
Yeah.
And it stays on the field, but its weapon, its main big weapon is...
Not as great.
It's not as great because it's only 12 inches in range.
Oh.
right? It's a great weapon. It hits like an absolute ton of bricks, but it only is 12 because it's a big siege melt array. It's meant for blowing the doors off of buildings, which in thematic sense makes sense, but on the table makes no sense. You're never going to play a scenario where you need this super heavy Titan-style gun to walk up within 12 inches of a building and blow it up unless you're playing some really deep narrative thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? There's just nothing that needs that. So I wish they would change that and give you the ability to have like 24 inches of range on that weapon.
Yeah.
Right.
NL says, "Hi all, I just joined. I'm about to order a full set of Pro Krill."
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Is Dark Sea Ben too bluish to use for Dark Angels? No, it's actually like a really nice, moves more towards green, right? That's it dried on the top of the bottle. So it moves more towards green. So I think as a shade layer for Dark Angels would be really good. If you were to continue to highlight it up, it will be too bluish. But I think as a base layer, it works well. And then you can just go to whatever green you like. You could add like our regular green into this, or camo green, or yellow green into this. The yellow green and the camo green might take you a little bit too yellow, but I think just regular green into this would be really cool. I like black green into green for 40k Dark Angels. 12. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Wad, why? Why? Why?
Wait, what are we talking about?
Why do I
again?
keep having to have this conversation with you? This is not that kind of stream.
Hey, what are we talking about again?
This is not that kind of stream. Everybody knows that you do not need a 12-inch spoon to eat your cereal.
Is that... Oh. I would...
Isn't that what we're talking about, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah. Okay. So how would you highlight black, green into green? Just by mixing in green. Start 50-50, then go into green after that. Or you could do 75% black, green, 25% green, and then 50-50, depending on how you want your gradient to look. And then eventually just move into green, and then you can highlight out of that with either faded green or bright pale green, doing the same thing, mixing out of the green towards the highlight. You guys know of any other brands that are the same size of GW Space Marines but not as expensive, more for painting than playing? Well, I'm going to tell you something right this minute. There are a tremendous amount of things out there you can 3D print that I neither support nor do not support.
Wait, say that again? I lost track.
You know, it's a weird ground for me to stand on, because I am painting up models right now that are largely 3D prints. This guy is completely 3D print. There's a GW bit for his fist here, and that's it. I don't think anything else on this is GW.
That body's 3D printed?
3D printed.
That's an incredible 3D print.
Yeah. So all of this is a 3D print except for this power claw, right? This is part of the Cataphracti Terminators from the second edition Horus Heresy box set. All the rest of this is 3D printed on a resin base. Now, this is 100% GW, right?
That's Forge World's resin.
Yeah, it's the old Forge World resin. And these guys have got some GW bits with 3D printed bodies. So I would be hypocritical if I said, hey, you should support and not do this. I do not support people that profit off of other people's IP. These are printed for me for the cost of resin and the printing service, and they're not charging for the fact that they've just basically sculpted Space Marines. So that's kind of how I balance it in my head, because I buy a lot of GW and I mix it in with this, and this just gives me the ability to create what I want that GW doesn't actually make. But that's not a good excuse. I feel dirty about it, right? I really do, because I'm a big fan of not stealing other people's IP, and I can't say it any other way. So there's egg on my face for it. But for this particular army, like all of my other stuff is purely GW. This particular army, my goal was to build a Primaris size army, big chonky boys, in Mark 2, 3, and 4 armor from the Heresy. There's a guy that does that in sculpts that I got them printed, and, you know, I'm doing it for me. I know that I can't play these at stores, and I would not go out and recommend, but for the person that wants to paint, there are things available out there that you can get so you can 3D print stuff and have it for painting. I just say shy away from, doing the whole, I hate GW, so I'm not going to buy their stuff. I'm going to buy 3D prints of their stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because eventually you have no support for the company that delivers the reason for the stuff being cool.
Yeah.
So you got to support the company. So that's my gig. Is that a lot of my bits and stuff are GW, but this army is largely 3D printed.
Yeah. No, that's a good way of putting it, because also GW makes really dope models as well, right? So I get it.
There are a lot of people who make miniatures that can be used as proxies but don't rip off GWIP, Ted Onion. See, there again, it's a thing where I'm like, if you're profiting, like if you design a similar product to a Space Marine and sell it as your own thing, I have a problem with that. You know, these models cost me about $1.50 a piece because it's just the resin and the printing service that I'm paying for. I'm not paying somebody for what they did as a close proximity. You know, if these were $5 a piece or something like that, I would have a real problem with that, because then you're paying somebody for more than just their effort to turn somebody else's IP. It's that whole derivative works thing in my head. And I know I'm treading on thin ice, and I get it. And if you think I'm a hypocrite, that's fine. Because I feel like there's hypocrisy in it too. But I wouldn't be able to build this army, and I want to build this army. So I couldn't build this with GW parts. They just don't exist.
Yeah.
Now I have a fully GW Dark Angels Heresy army, and I just bought a fully GW Iron Warriors army that's coming in, and I've got Solar Auxilia, and all the rest of the stuff I have is purely all GW.
We have a lot of GW in the studio.
Yeah, so whatever. Feel good, feel bad, whatever. There's a lot out there that you can paint. Is there a good acrylic version of pin lining like one would do with oil paints? If so, what mediums would you use for it? So our Noosh medium gives the extended dry time of an oil, so you can wipe it off if you do pin washes and lining. It will never flow the same because it does not have the same viscosity and surface tension that an oil does. And nothing can reproduce that until you start adding a medium that is oil. Right, because it's just the way that works. So a water-based product will never run the same, but it can get close. Generally, what you have to do with a water-based product is you have to touch it to the line more times. It'll still give you that flow.
Yeah.
Right, but it won't do like a mile-long line like oil will. But Noosh, our product Noosh, when you mix it in with the color that you want, with a little bit of water, it will flow in the line like that, and then it will allow you to wipe the surface off to keep it just inside the line. So it gives you that oil ability to, put a dot on there, and where you touch the dot, it goes outside the line. You can wipe the Noosh off real quick. So that's the bigger thing to be concerned with.
That's a great idea, Nicolark.
For thinning paints, we have a thinning paints tutorial. How I paint with just water on my brush.
That's true.
It's up there. It's up there. Can we recommend a good 3D printer? In our factory, we use the Frozen Sonic Mighty 8K with the heavy metal construction. I don't know. They don't call it that. It's the one with the extra support, and it's beefed up for more use. They have two versions of that. But it has a huge plate, like an 11-inch diameter or 11-inch diagonal plate or something like that. And we've had really good luck with those. And one of the places that we work with for printing also uses those, believe it or not. Even though it's a consumer printer, they've gotten, with that printer in specific, they've gotten to a point to where it beats the pants off of most of the professional ones at $20,000 or $30,000. And it's about $1,500. So how do you feel about one-page rules? The entire thing is thinly veiled GW games. So rules are different, right? Because rules can't be copyrighted. So if you want to write a set of rules that is models agnostic, that bring in ideas like that, then I don't have a problem with that at all. I think the problem with that is that there's no commercial viability to it. If the rules are free, or you have to charge so much for the rules that nobody's going to care because they can just go buy some other game or get a PDF of somebody else's rules. I think one-page rules keeps the rules free, and then they hope that you go and buy the STLs from their land. They've done a really good job, I think, of doing some stuff like, their dinosaurs with rockets and lasers that Brent did, and their demons and stuff.
I think originally they were a little like veiled. Now the stuff I've been seeing.
Oh, they were a total ripoff of Space Marines and such initially, I believe.
Now I'm seeing stuff that's like, oh, that's just a cool model.
Yeah, they went off on their own and made some cool things and stuff. So I have a lot of respect for what they've done there. I think that if what you're doing is just trying to make it to where people can buy cheap 40K and profiteering off of it, there's a problem there.
Yeah.
Right. The guy that I buy these models from does not make his living off of selling me resin models or selling you resin models or anything like that. Right. It's like your buddy Chance saying, hey, hey, I'm going to give Chance some STLs. Can you print these off for me? Charge me the time that it takes in the resin.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it is. It's just a print service for STLs.
Half the time he's like,
and the STLs for this are free, believe it or not. You can go on, not that I'm advertising for this guy, but on Cults 3D, Bolterjugend is the guy, or Fummelfinger he goes on, I think, on Cults, and you can get most of these STLs for free, right? Because he is one of those guys that did not want to get slapped down by GW, and so he does these sculpts and offers them out for free, and so you can get the sculpts, and then you just have to pay somebody to print them. So again, it's why I'm like,
yeah.
You know.
Chance just is like, I want you to play the game with me, so I'll print you models.
Any chance in the future you can get your hands on a Bold Sense of Humor brush holder? We might release something like that for production. We talked about it. That wouldn't be quite as big, but would do the same thing.
A mini one? That's actually not a bad idea.
I've heard good things about the Hey Gears Reflex. I don't know anything about Hey Gears as a company. They're all just literally different primitives off of the Chi2 box chipset, so I'm not sure. There's all sorts of technology, that moves rapidly forward in the 3D printing world. So what you buy today in 6 months will be very near obsolete. Doesn't mean it won't work, but just be prepared if you dive into that world that you will be changing stuff all the time. All the time. If you want a no muss, no fuss 3D printing and money means nothing to you, get a Formlab 4. I would never suggest anybody buy a Formlabs printer.
Really?
Never. 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 Not with the new, like, all the DLP technology and all the stuff that's coming out. I don't know if the Formlabs 4 background is still laser or not, but I have had such horrific things with Formlabs and Envision Tech. I would never use any of the ones that were built up in the medical world because, number one, they are charging you a lot for nothing, and their quality has actually been overtaken by the printers that have been focused on painting or on printing for miniatures. Believe it or not, the biggest driver in the 3D printing world right now has started to shift from the world of prototyping into the world of actual printing of things like miniatures and collectibles and stuff. So it's crazy. You got your issues with PA figured out. It's 100% environmental and was leading to hot spots in the drying paint. Awesome, Valthorn. Awesome. Very good. They feel a bit thinner than normal PA paints. Is it just you? No, they shouldn't be. The range for viscosity will feel a little bit different based on the pigment on each one of them, but when we produce, we have a range of approval for viscosity. And from the bottom approval, where it is the thinnest, to the top approval, where it's thickest, there is a noticeable difference there, but it doesn't feel different when you paint with it, right? Our range is just how it looks and acts as a liquid, but once you paint with it, it's the same. Their coverage and density and stuff like that usually is the same. If you have anything that you feel like is an outlier with that regard, then you can always contact us. There is a rare occasion where you get a bottle that was like the last 2 or 3 bottles filled in a line, might be a little thicker, or the first couple that were a little thinner, stuff like that, but it's very rare. Your Mars 3 Pro, yeah. There's so many good 3D printers. I would never, it's like brushes. It's like whatever works for you. You ask 50 people what the best printer is, you get 50 answers that are all different. Yeah. I'm not going to die on that hill. That's why I say we use the Frozen Sonic Mighty 8Ks now. We used to use the E-Packs E10s, or X10s, the metal ones. They were super heavy duty, but super pricey to repair all of the lighting arrays when they went out and stuff like that. Yeah. So we moved to something that was a little cheaper to do the consumer repair on, and that's been good for us.
That's something I haven't dove into yet, is 3D printing. I don't know if it's for me.
Payne's Gray is amazing. It's one of our favorites. I'm going to I'm using blue-black now, aren't I? Blue-black and bright pale yellow is what I'm doing right now. We're going back to highlighting some of the darker metal on these guys.
I just need someone to talk me down from my current shopping cart.
Why?
Well, we're not.
Who's it with? Is it with us? Then I'll talk you up on it.
I would say
if it's with somebody else, then we will talk you down because you need to spend that money with us.
I would say keep going.
The best 3D printer is obviously your friends, as long as they keep printing for you. Yes, that is the only right answer.
Honestly,
it's Chance's 3D printer is the best 3D
awesome.
Printer.
Also, Chance is definitely obviously I give him all of the supplies, but then he's like, I just want you to play. It's not doing anything, so might as well.
I don't know Chance all as well as I wish I did, but
great.
Chance is a hell of a guy.
Yeah,
Chance is a hell of a supporter of the hobby. And I think he gets his enjoyment off the enjoyment of others, and that there's no greater thing in the world, right?
Yes, 100%. He is the quintessential hobby man, and an amazing storyteller.
Because he does D&D with you guys, right?
And he takes the time.
He invests in it.
Yep. Get yourself a friend with a 3D printer and a boat. Rav. Absolutely. Chris, 3D printers get you friends. I'm good. I'll go find friends. Is Chance looking for customers? No.
He has a real job.
I love 3D printing, but it's trying at times. If you're not on the fence and have someone that's willing to help you out or print, go that route. That's what I've done. I'm just like, hey, how much resin is it gonna be? 1 bottle. Great, I'll buy you 2. There you go. That's been my go-to for it.
Sounds like a plan.
Double up the resin.
Sounds like the plan.
So what do you end up gonna do? You could add more units to this?
I don't know, man.
More
Don't
little
get me
guys?
started because that'll derail our entire stream. Because I will
No.
sit here and list meta with you.
Well, people,
And I'm not even metaing my list is the crazy thing. I literally stared at the screen yesterday for 3 hours, maybe 2.5. 2.5 hours just deciding on how to spend 50 points.
I'm
like,
not gonna
this
lie. It took me a second to come up with my whole Thunder Warriors bit. Because I was like, okay, do I go big guys? But then the Terminators for Talons of the Emperor are in 50 mil. So
Well, and you don't have,
they're
if
not
you're
gonna
using
look-
the Thunder Warrior models, you don't have enough variation to be able
No.
to do Terminators and regular guys.
So-
it has to be all of one or another.
it's literally, I have leaders that are just guys with shields.
Because there weren't Terminators or Dreadnoughts for Thunder Warriors, so you're stuck. You got one troop type you can use, which is great for using
good, though.
Custodians because, Custodians are badass with either or.
They are.
You can field a lot of just your line troops for Custodians, which are like everybody else's elites,
Yeah, that's what I ended up
and get away
doing.
with it, and that's great.
There's 40 total models on the table. 40 at 3,000 points.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah. But I downgraded to the cheaper unit to get more bodies on the table.
The one that doesn't have the selectable spear bolter. It just has the one type, right?
It has a spear, 2 different spear options, but no shield option. That's what made them different.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to be a little less tanky, but they do more damage.
They have the worst invuln save.
Yeah.
They have like a 6 up instead of a 5 up, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a 2 save.
Yeah, I think your whole lineup has a 2 up regular
Yeah.
save.
And then the elites have the
They all
4
have
up.
the equivalent of artificer armor. They're brutal.
But then they're all on 40 mil bases. So I was able to buy just a pack of generic cheap 40 mil bases. So now they're all the same. And just scaled up just a little bit. Just a touch.
A smidge?
A smudgeons.
No. They're way
okay.
big.
The leaders are, I wouldn't say big, I would say intimidating.
They're huge.
They're not that big.
They're huge. They're
That's
like
the
troll
point.
sized.
No.
100%, dude.
No.
You need to bring them here, and I'll put them on stream, and I'll show everybody how close to troll size they are.
No.
Oh, the 100%.
No. Troll size?
Yep.
You mean Trogoth size?
Oh,
Whatever you
God.
wanna do.
That's right. The
There's a difference between your
copyrightable name, the
Ah,
copyrightable
yes.
GW name for trolls. Now I
We
forgot.
get Trogoth. What brushes do you use for painting?
Our own.
And what size are you using now, Jason?
Right now I'm using a number 3 Sable, probably the same size Jordan uses all the time.
Jordan loves his 3.
He paints with a number 3 Sable all the
He
time.
uses a 3 or a 4.
And
every
the
once in a
3
while.
is my go-to when I'm doing detail work. If I'm doing sables, I don't paint with a lot of sables. I paint mainly with our synthetics, and I have been using the number 2s, number 4, and occasionally the 00 in our synthetic line, but mostly 2s and 4s. I paint with a larger size brush, and let the point do all the work, rather than sizing my brush down, because the smaller the brush, the less paint it holds, and it's for more delicate, fewer brushstroke work to use the small brushes.
Monument Philip, I've completely restarted my list again. Who cares about your 2+ saves when my standing still 15 tactical squad has 45 bolter shots at 2 to hit? All right. You
All
say
these
that.
guys in their freaking Imperial fists.
You say that, Philip, but then you're going to get the Thunder Warriors, baby.
I think the Imperial fists are going to be the ones to beat, Chris. I think we're all going to be
No!
in trouble fighting against Jordan and Phil.
I'm going for it.
I mean,
Thunder
I'll still
Warriors.
go for it, but don't let me get close to you, Phil.
Tom Bud Selleck says, which paints does Jason use for the gold non-metallic metal? Great question.
Chris is going to answer you because he's been studying.
dark yellow green, number 1.
Yep.
And then he goes into orange yellow, and then bright pale yellow.
Nope.
What's the in between? Is it yellow ochre?
Bright yellow ochre.
Bright yellow ochre, and then bright pale yellow.
And then bright pale yellow.
There it is.
Good job, Christopher.
Thank
you. You got
Hey,
like what is that? A 75 on that? Still passing grade.
Thank you. One of these days, I'll get up there and Jason's gonna walk me through it.
Yes, they win, baby.
Philip says, "Hey, I picked them up because they were cool, not because I meta listed. Jordan has dropped IF already."
He has?
Jordan? That doesn't surprise me, though.
Wait a minute.
Jordan,
what do you mean?
That doesn't surprise me. Absolutely, Tom Butselek.
So that means he went and played a game and got his butt wiped for him, and now he's changed to decide he wants to play something else.
Game Delay says, "Oh, thank goodness. I was feeling so bored trying to finish out work when I remembered the painting stream. Now, if you'd paint blue glow or on something, my day would be complete."
Nope.
Blue glow? I hardly know her.
What? Dadgummit.
Game Delay. He won't do it.
Won't do it.
I'm sorry. James Armstrong says, "After 45 years of painting, I finally tried non-metallic metal using your awesome paints and streams, and it turned out amazing. Thanks, guys."
Holy heck, that's
Nice.
awesome.
That's cool.
Thank you,
James, good
for
job.
believing in us.
James, you have done more than I have.
And Chris gets this for free.
Well, here's what I would say. I guess
Here we go, Chad.
this is the honest truth.
Here comes the word salad.
How do I want to put this?
So Chris would make a great politician.
No, I wouldn't. Here's what I would say. I'm not opposed to painting non-metallic metal, right? I do not gravitate towards it because the way I paint is okay with true metallic metals. Plus, I do like, Jason showed me that technique of the dirty down metal thing, right? Where you showed me the underpainting and then the dry brushing.
Yep.
And now I do that with all of my metal no matter what.
Yep.
Because, A, it's just, whatever it is, it's enjoyable. I don't know how to explain it. I just like how it comes out and I like how it feels. And B, I feel like I can get things done a little bit sloppier, in quotation marks. And when I say sloppy, that doesn't mean sloppy as in the quality, just like I can be messy because that's like how I do my art.
I say painting loose.
Loose, that's way better. I love painting loose.
Yeah, I
and
call
like
that painting loose because your
painting-
brush strokes can be
Yeah.
looser. It's not like what I'm doing right now is painting tight.
Yeah, okay.
You have to keep your brush stroke very tight to the area that you're trying to color. It has to be very, specifically placed to get the textures and the blends and everything. Being able to do things like dry brush keeps your painting loose.
I love loose painting.
Yeah.
I do that on canvases, on drawing paper. I like painting all over the place.
Sometimes we'll call it like you get to be a little bit more sketchy in the way that you attack your painting, and all of that is good.
I just love doing that with our metallics.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful at the end of the day.
Did I literally do that again? I wiped it off and then I did it again.
What did you do?
This thing right here where the red was.
I didn't even see that.
I bet I can't even get that off now because it's been sitting there for quite a while.
Chris does a lot of talking, not a lot of painting on stream. That's why I'm here, Law Dog. That's literally my job. More Jason, less Chris. Uh-oh, he's got to operate. All right,
I can't
Jason.
stand for that. That's a mistake I can't stand for.
Now, Jason,
What?
how are you going to fix it?
I'm going to take the paint and paint over it. That's what I'm doing. Eclectic salmon for the win.
It'll do it. Painting. There it is. Ah. Philip says, no, he said the play style didn't feel fun for him.
It's because he lost.
Back to Alpha or Emperor's Children. He was talking about how he saw somebody's Emperor's Children the other day, and he has Fulgrim, so get it painted.
I've known Jordan way long enough to know that it's because he didn't win. Because he's done this with every army. He spent all that time doing that really amazing old world army for the lizard people, lizard men.
Seraphon. And that was for Age of Sigmar.
Was it Age of Sigmar?
Yeah.
He did Seraphon. Painted that up. Looked beautiful. Did a great job. Had Lord Croak and all that stuff that he did that video or that tutorial on here. Dude. The thing was awesome. All dry brush kind of stuff.
I should have bought that off of him.
Yeah, it did look really great. It. Played like one game, lost, got rid of it.
Lord Croak is fun to play, but you have to play him. He's very unique. He's the army. If you're going to play one of those big god characters, that's your army.
They become how you have to play the whole thing. That was the same in my Lumineth, right?
Yeah. That's why I like those kinds of armies, because typically you don't build that way. It's not optimized, and it's not the best, but it's like, oh, how the heck do I have to deal with this?
Yeah.
Wired says, I tried your non-metallic metal technique, but I don't think I have the eye for it, so I ordered the metallic sets as a cope.
You know what? There is absolutely no shame in that game at all whatsoever.
You'll get there, Wired, but again, you're not going to go wrong. You don't have to. Yeah, you're not going to go wrong with that.
The reality is you don't have to. You'll see a lot of people painting both ways. Go check out Bohun.
Bohun?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I follow him.
Bohun. Bohun.
Yeah.
Bohun Stupnicki, I think he calls himself on Facebook. But if you go and check out Bohun and watch him do his metallics, he kills it with metallics. He makes it look like, what? I would paint all my models that way. So, yeah, there's a million ways to make metal look good that doesn't include non-metallic. It's my preferred way to paint.
Yeah.
Just because of the control it gives me over light and shadow.
Yeah.
Whereas metallics don't give you that kind of control. So that's why I do it. But you can do it however you like. Don't feel like, no matter what you see on social media, don't ever feel like you can't just do your own thing.
Yep. And that's kind of where I'm at with my painting journey. I like painting, like I like the colors on the model, and I like to paint up fast and loose.
Fast and loose.
Fast and loose, baby.
Yeah.
There it is.
As he goes and jumps in his 78 Camaro.
I'm either fast and loose or slow and tight.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Whoa. This is also not that kind of show.
Wait a minute. Sorry, let me... I tried to do all the buttons.
By doing that, you just call more attention to the nonsense.
What?
Oh, yeah.
No.
You're not distracting
Jason,
from it
that
like
erases,
you think you are.
That erases it entirely.
That does not do that.
That's literally like a...
that's not a get-out-of-jail-free pass.
That's like a... That is total undo, like Control-Z kind of deal.
Not
right?
even. Who is this?
Anyway, speaking of fast and loose...
Welcome, everybody.
We're painting some Blood Angels. If anybody wants, Nick says, if anybody wants to use true metallics instead of non-metallic metal, look up Artist Opus Dry Brush Tutorials. The guy's a wizard. We know Byron. Or you try non-metallic gold. Because I know a channel right here that shows you.
I love how we've just become gold. Like you just think we just do non-metallic gold while I'm painting steel right now.
No. I think I stand by what I said yesterday.
Remember the thing I said about Chris for a politician?
No.
You'd be like, I would never vote for Chris, and then somehow you're at the polls and you're like, Chris.
Here's what's up.
Pull the lever for Chris.
Jason does do a lot of non-metallic gold.
I do a lot of non-metallic, period.
But specifically gold. But
I don't make the rules that every model here has got gold on it.
That's what I'm saying. But you do it in such a way every time that it's a different example, no matter what. It's the same subject, but it's different.
Here we go, Chad.
See?
Politics.
Vote for me.
That's exactly how I knew that was going to finish out.
Jason, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Madib says, Jason, these paints in your tutorials have inspired me to just try stuff. I'm an over-the-top perfectionist, and while I love painting minis, it is always hard for me to fail forward. You all are really helping me with that. Thanks for making this hobby fun for me again.
Heck yeah.
Heck, that's just great.
Thank you so much. That's huge. Yeah, it really is the deal that I wish everybody could find what you're finding right there. I hope that everybody does. Is that there's no life support system tied to your painting. The only thing that you can say is that, well, I mean, you want to make sure that you spend and get good reward from spending that time. So, getting better as you paint is key, but it is not something where you have to be worried about messing up. Just do it, just freaking paint.
Yeah,
paint the model.
right.
Put paint on the model. You just saw, I mess up.
No.
Very rare.
No.
It's very, very rare.
You don't do that.
It's
No,
very,
no,
very
no,
rare.
no, no. Happy little mistakes.
It's very, very rare.
There are no mistakes
Oh,
here.
there's lots of mistakes.
Hey, Ray, thank you for that sub. 7 months. Evan's got a question. Not sure if you've answered this already. Please, can you give me advice on brownish bone color and a gray bone color? I've started an Ossiarch Bone Reaper's army.
I did a very quick run through some Ossiarch Bone Reapers that included basing with black-brown primer, right? So I used our dark brown primer. And then after the dark brown primer, I went and dry brushed bone over the top. And then dry brushed probably ivory or something like that over the top of that. I don't remember. So, because skeletons are easy to dry brush and get a really neat look too, because the texture works, that you can kind of treat them like doing basing material because they've been buried under the ground. And do something like that, and then do a wash over the top. And I did a wash that did flesh wash and brown. The flesh wash gave it a really cool kind of orangey, burnt earth kind of feel that I liked.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That gives you more of the bone color skeletons.
Yeah, the
dirty, gray, yeah. I think you could just turn, some of those colors into like the warm grays instead of ivory. Like instead of dry brushing with bone, dry brush with like warm gray. Something like that. And then do the ivory over the warm gray. I think you still want your highlight to move into more of a yellowish tone, yellow-white, like the ivory provides, rather than a bright gray. But you could do bright gray. You could like bright neutral gray too.
Danger Boy says, can I ask what the difference is in warm gray versus neutral gray? My eyes and hands keep going towards bright neutral gray, but I like warm gray more than neutral gray in general. So
you can use warm gray with bright neutral gray over the top of it. They're interchangeable as far as a family. What happens is that the warm grays tend to look a little dirtier, a little bit more worn, because of that warmth to them. They're exactly why they're named that, is because they have a little bit of a greenish, yellowish nature to them. So they tend to look a little warmer, which gives it a little dirtier look, is the reality.
Yeah.
And then, you can add bright neutral gray over the top. I love that, right? Because the bright warm gray, it trends a little bit green. It's great for stuff like pale undead flesh and things like that, but it may not be what you're looking for in the grays you're working up. So go neutral gray. You can go dark warm gray as a base, neutral gray as a mid-tone, bright neutral gray, or dark neutral gray, warm gray, and bright neutral gray. You can mix and match the grays however you like. There's no rules there. And they look great doing so. I do it all the time.
Yes, the texture trainers, Nick, are physical miniatures, not STLs. We do not sell the STLs for the texture trainers.
Nope.
They're a great puck size to have to test something. That's what I've used them for mainly. Trying like a dry brush or something like that, get some consistency.
Yeah, we keep them very well priced so that you can not feel bad about purchasing that rather than wanting to print it out on your own. And it lets us do the QC on it. We're not ready to sell STLs yet because a certain time that somebody calls up and says, hey, I'm having a hard time printing my model. That's not what our customer service team does.
Yeah.
Our customer service team is built around paint. And I don't want to have to train them on 3D printing mishaps and, support handling and resin types and all that crap. They would kill me.
Danger said, I just got bright green, blue, and feels like maybe it can work like warm gray then, right?
Yeah, to some extent. It's going to be, it's a different color. So warm gray is darker than that.
Evan says you should enter Golden Demon. You're better than Vince. Hey, we love Vince.
Vince is an amazing painter.
We love Vince.
I've won a couple demons. Got a Forge World Best in Show and a demon back in 2005, and have not entered a painting competition since. I dislike entering painting competitions. And it was only because my friends forced me to do it at Games Day LA in 2005 that I even entered. And I won with a Terminator Squad and a Dreadnought for my Imperial Fists at the time for 40K.
Oh, Imperial Fists.
Yeah, for
eh?
40K. Yeah. They were always my favorite Legion. I painted them all gray and yellow. I never had a full yellow Imperial Fist army. I don't like them as much now.
Call me Mosin.
I don't know what happened, but now I'm not. Like, for Heresy, it was never a choice for me to go do Imperial Fist. Probably because I painted myself out. I still love painting them. You know, I just found a hell of a deal on Facebook Marketplace the other day. I came into the office and said, I've done something wrong. And Kyle knew exactly what it was when I started talking about it, because he was going to buy the same listing. It was such a good deal. It was like, I don't know, $1,400 is when I stopped doing the math on it.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I go, that's a ridiculous deal. He can't possibly be selling it. And so I messaged the guy and I said, it's $700 shipped. And I said, would you take 6? And he's like, yep.
There you go.
And so now we have another army coming. And I got that Solar Auxiliary. I'm a sucker, is what it amounts to.
Sure, here you go.
I got the Solar Auxilia army off of Facebook Marketplace too.
Call Me Moldzen's got a question.
Uh-huh.
I have a weird issue / feeling I'm not sure how to describe properly. When I load paint onto the brush or mix paint with it and just use its tip part of the paint, with a fear that the rest of the paint just dries over time, damaging the brush and the impact of the paint job, a quick water wash does not wash all the paint off the bristles after all, does it?
Okay.
Let me go back.
Yeah,
this is a long question.
That didn't make...
I fear the rest of the paint just dries over time. Okay, I'm thinking Call Me Moldzen, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you're talking about deep cleaning your brush.
Can you bring that up so I can read it?
Yeah, it's a highlighted comment, which Restream doesn't have, but here you go. 1 second. I can do this. Here we go.
I have a weird issue or feeling I'm not sure how to describe. Okay, when I load paint on the brush and use just its tip, you fear the rest of the paint just dries over time, damaging the brush. Not true. A quick water wash does not wash all the paint off the brush after all, does it? Sure it does. Yeah. Usually what we're painting here is not taking... I mean, you'll watch me just painting with the tip of the brush like I am right now, right? I'm loading the brush more than I will use. Yeah. So, you know, perfect case in point is here. I'll rinse my brush. I'll come over here. I have to mix this color live. So I'm doing bright pale yellow into blue black here.
Right. With
water on my brush to make it thin. Right? And so here's my pool of paint. And so now that I've mixed, this brush is loaded with paint. I mean, that goes all the way to the ferrule. See that? Mm-hmm. So there's way more paint in this that I'll use. I'll take some of it off on my finger just so it's not super wet and sloppy when I come over here to the model. But, you know, then I'll paint just with the tip of the brush to get all my stuff on here. And I'm never worried about whether or not there's some sort of, you know, paint drying in the belly. That paint in the belly is wet. It has the bulk of the moisture. The place where you have the least amount of paint will always dry first, or the thinnest spot of paint will dry first. The thick area of paint, which is all the paint in the bristles that you're not painting with, will take the longest to dry up. What's happening through capillary draw on the brush, the science of how a brush works, is that every time you're pushing paint down, have you ever seen a quill pen, ink pen? Right? Every time I push on the tip of the brush to get paint to go, the paint is coming from the belly of the brush. It's not just the paint on the tip. There's all the paint on the tip gets used up pretty quick. New paint runs down into the tip from the belly of the brush. That's what is happening, right? So all that wet paint that's in the belly of the brush keeps me being able to paint longer with the tip. And so I can paint with the tip this whole time, never using the side or the belly of the brush in any weird way. I'm just painting with the tip of the brush. And so I'm never worried about that. And I can paint until the brush stroke doesn't give me the paint I want. And then I rinse it off in the cup and it all gets rinsed off. Because in order for the resin in the paint to set up to a point to where water won't rinse it away, you would literally need to sit here and paint for, I don't know, half an hour or an hour with this brush load. And even then, as long as you're keeping motion going, paint continues to flow and it interrupts the ability for it to dry to a point to where there's any problems, right? And I'm in Arizona and it's 100 plus degrees here and whatever. So no, there's no need to worry about what you're talking about. No fear. Just paint, right? Because I don't worry about, having to stop like, I've been painting too long. This is going to dry out. It's not like an airbrush or anything like that, where the longer I paint, the more hassle I have with tip dry or anything like that.
Imitation Margarine says, what would be a good set of PA greens for Dark Angels? Thinking black green, camo green, and some dark yellow green for highlights.
I think that's going to be too yellow, but it can look good. I mentioned that earlier when somebody asked the same question. I think black green is a great starting point. Somebody had asked before, could you use dark sea Ben? The answer is yes. That might look really cool. And then, the camo green I like as your first layer of mix with black green, but then I think you have to go to green at some point in time. I think you have to go to just regular base green. Black green and the regular green make for a great mix, so you could just go black, green, and then you could go into mixing in bright yellow green with the green probably for your highlight. I dread with the Dark Angels putting too much yellow into the green. It starts looking like salamanders, right? So just be careful with that. If you're doing 40K, right? Hope it all comes out okay. Chris had to go potty break. Run supervised, chat. What should we do? What's the plan, chat? He left us alone. No adults. Raid the liquor cabinet. I don't drink, but I'm charging $5 a shot so I can buy more models. Physics is cool, yeah. Because every time you press on the tip of the brush, it's pulling paint through the belly to the tip. Like, I haven't really stopped here, right? Now, if I go rinse the brush off just in the cup and then wipe it on the paper towel, it was loaded with paint, and now I come back and it's cleared, right? It's back to normal. What about camo into faded green? Camo into faded green is great. It's what I use for, like, tanks. That's what this is, right? This is black brown into dark camo green, faded green. That's one of my favorite combos for doing a military green, but that's not, you can do your Dark Angels like this and it might look really cool, but this is more, I forget who the sub chapters are that have, more of a military green coloring, right? But faded green and camo green is a fantastic way to do that U.S. military, olive-y kind of green. I did here just black green. I think this is dark blue into black green, into green, right? And then faded green, or bright pale green. This is bright pale green mixed into the green for a highlight. And it gets a pretty bright green that isn't too salamander. I got people yell at me for making this, like, you made painted salamanders. I'm like, no, we didn't, because I didn't use the yellow, right? But if you made this yellow, yeah, you get to salamanders green pretty quick. That's why I use the bright pale green, because the bright pale green is more of a bluish green.
Yeah.
And so that.
Man, quick, hide his chair.
Chris, I may or may not have put my nuts on your chair.
This one's not my chair. I swapped it.
Oh, dang it.
I swapped it. I swapped my swapper. You did? I don't like that. That was funny, Boo. Oh my gosh. Poop on his keyboard. Blade.
Wow.
Jabe.
Wow, I can't just
Jabe
poop
is.
on command. That's a trick I have not learned in life.
Tadpole Jackson says, I've had trouble with paint on the dry brushing. I don't know if I'm not rinsing frequently enough, or if it's the brush is too dry and the capillary action is pulling the paint up and the drying above my paint load. But if I just use a brush soap to wash the brush, it sorts itself out. So, Tapple Jackson, are you needing some tips for dry brushing?
Yeah, I'm not. Is there a problem there?
I have a great video for that, which I'm going to link to you right now. Well, bam. Regular painting. You need tips for regular painting, Tapple Jackson? We're here for you. Not dry brushing. Oh, okay. Oh, I had trouble with paint on the brush drying. See? There you go. There's my dyslexia. I read that entirely backwards.
Paid professional, chat.
I have had trouble with paint on the brush drying. Okay. I don't know if I'm not rinsing frequently enough or if the brush is too dry and the capillary
Brush is
action.
probably too
Okay,
dry.
that makes sense.
You have to. That's why moisture on the brush and the control of said moisture is key. Why I always talk about it. We bring that up constantly. Right? I just paint with the moisture on the brush. I don't mix water into my palette. It's really just the water on the brush. But my brush for just standard painting is pretty damp, right? And that dampness makes sure that the paint can still flow on the brush at the correct rate and doesn't dry up, right? If you just pick your brush up off the desk, dip it in paint, and start painting, you're going to get irregular lines because the paint isn't going to load or leave the brush in a consistent manner.
Right.
So you got to have some dampness on your bristles, period. That I don't care what you're painting, how you're painting, you need some dampness on your bristles. Unless you're just flat out pure dry brushing for edges. Then you don't have to.
Dampness on the bristles. That's what I see. I don't know why that just came into my mind.
Why is this my life? Why, chat? Why is this my life?
To Mama Dollar and Papa Dollar. Yeah. There you go. I don't know what else you want, chap.
There's a lot that we want.
Tapple Jackson for me. For me, it says on mid belly and a normal rinse won't get the paint off. Dries mid belly. Okay. That's what I
you just
figured.
have too dry of a brush. Because it's gumming up real quick.
Jason, make sure Jason making sure we all have our beards moisturized. That's right. That's right, Game Delay. We're here for you.
The only way I moisturize my beard is when my dogs lick it.
Ew. Artistic Outlaw says, if someone had a model that was primed in gray sear a few months ago and wanted to not deal with the beading, could they do a quick spritz of Monument primer to get a better surface to work on?
100%. Or if you wanted the gray and that match of gray is perfect for you, matte varnish.
You just matte varnish over it?
Yeah, I always suggest when using other people's rattle cans, even some of the Color Forge colors, to go ahead and follow up, do the color, do a matte varnish.
Yeah.
And then you can paint. Then you don't have to worry about whatever paints you're using beading up and all that. So many of the spray paints out on the market have that very waxy surface.
Yeah. A lot of them are meant for lawn chairs.
Barbecues, I call it.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that if you're using gray sear, GW just has always had crappy quality control on the paints.
Yeah, gray sear is no good.
Well, even their Chaos Black and stuff, I don't know. But
matte varnish is amazing.
Matte varnish, even their matte varnish, anybody's matte varnish, just put a spray coat of matte varnish on it. As long as it really mattes the color down and doesn't leave any shine, then you're good to go.
What colors would you use for Alpha Legion? Turquoise would be good, question mark?
Oh, I like
Alpha?
starting Alpha Legion with dark purple and then into dark blue, believe it or not. And then you can go and start mixing in things like turquoise if you want. I think turquoise is great, but also bright jade works really well there. Depends on if you want to push it more into like that seafoam green. Turquoise is a little bit more blue. Jade will be a little bit more green. So you can play around with that.
Spaznet, that's not allowed to be that funny. Spaznet says, painting underwater helps with the dry brush.
Also, yes. Results may vary. We're going to do that.
Painting
Non-metallic gold underwater.
Krabosaurus says, what are the main differences between CF primers and yours?
The formulation, ours are more matte. And the colors are different too. But
yeah. We have black, gray, and white.
Yeah, the biggest component being the matte nature. Like our black is ultra matte.
Yeah, so they have matte black, right? Color Forge has matte black, which is a great black, right? But if you want that ultra matte black, like, you don't do it outside, you'll lose your model. And
it's funny because he's
dumb,
not kidding.
But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go out on my back patio and spray my models. I only had one light bulb, and it is dark. So it's amazing, though.
Yeah, you have a hard time finding it.
Give me black brown spray primer. Hyrax brown is also an amazing color.
Hyrax brown is fairly close. It's a little bit lighter in value, but it will perform the exact same role.
Oh, Whittle Goblin rating with 57.
Witty!
What's up, Witty? Welcome in, Raiders. We're painting up some non-metallic metal blood angels. Welcome in, Raiders. And thank you for that raid, Witty. We appreciate you.
I am
hard at work.
Hard at work. Or working hardly.
No. It's harder work or working hardly.
It's harder.
No, it's hard at work or working hardly with a big question mark. Hard at work or hardly working is the actual phrase. And I am going to ask Jason this question because this was a hot topic yesterday. Jason, there's a phrase out there, right?
God.
That Jordan and I were debating, right?
I already know where this is going to go.
I don't know if you do, but you're one tough cookie to crack.
Okay.
That's not the saying. But Jordan, I said, well, it's a tough nut to crack.
Tough nut to crack and one tough cookie.
Thank you. Wow. That's where Jordan, if you're out there, that's where your brain wires got crossed. Tough cookie is a dog biscuit. Thank you, Tapple Jackson.
Also true.
Thank you for that clarification. One tough cookie and one tough nut to crack. Okay. Thank you.
They're two totally different things.
They are. They're two totally different sayings, and I think he crossed them in his mind.
Yeah. Tough cookie is that you're a tough.
Yeah.
Tough nut to crack is a hard person to get through to.
That's right. And hey, welcome in, Raiders. We're doing some Blood Angels Dreadnought work.
This is my 30K Blood Angels. We're working on one of the Incandius drop Dreadnoughts. This guy's got a jump pack. And we are now going through and doing the dark steel metal bits. I don't know what it's made out of, but that's what we're doing.
Little Goblin says, you don't crack tough cookies, you dunk them in milk. You know what?
You soften them up, don't you?
I was an adult man when I eventually dunked an Oreo in milk. I never did that as a kid.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I ended up the way I did.
I hate Oreos.
You do?
Yep.
Why?
Don't like Oreo cookies.
Hey, that's okay. To one his own, right?
It's like eating chocolate dirt. It's really weird. It's the consistency of it. It's not a taste thing, I don't think. Although I don't like the
Oreo in milk, I will say.
I don't like the pure sugar inside.
Oh.
I love sweet baked goods like brownies and stuff.
All right,
but I do not like overly sweet.
Are you a cookie dunker?
It's why I don't like no.
Okay.
It's why I don't like milk chocolate, right? Because milk chocolate is like pure sugar with some cocoa. I like dark chocolate, which is pure cocoa with some sugar.
Oh.
Make sense?
Yep.
That's my whole.
Hayden says Dreadnought with a jump pack, terrifying.
Yeah, they get to fly on the charge and when moving, right? They don't have the fly keyword all the time, but whenever they're charging or moving quickly, they get the fly keyword, so they ignore terrain. So yeah, that is a little scary because they get all the benefits of toughness and strength, and this guy's got basically two big, huge lightning claws and gets a ton of attacks. So he's all meant to get up in your face, and I have two of them.
I know. You're
I basically have 64 dudes with jump packs and 2 jump pack Terminators and a Thunderhawk, and that's what I have.
Yeah.
The normal bros are all just standard jump pack, veteran assault marines, and assault marines. So my whole army has jump packs. My Praetor, all my heroes, everybody. Jump packs, more jump packs, and jump packs, and a Thunderhawk. Because the Thunderhawk delivers the guys with the jump packs.
But you've totally reworked that list.
I'm thinking about getting rid of the Thunderhawk in this particular list to learn to play with, because I just don't feel like the Thunderhawk pays for itself the way that they have flyers. The more I look at the rules, since it doesn't stay on the table, it's a little unfair to your opponent, which I don't like. It also, from everything I can tell, I don't know if I can charge out of it without being disordered. I can still charge out of the vehicle, but it may be a disordered charge, which I don't want, because it doesn't give me my my unit benefit or my legion benefit. So I'm having to look at like what doesn't nerf. I'm not looking for what makes my army better. I'm looking for what doesn't nerf my army more. Yeah. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Cravosaurus says, do you think edge highlighting is a very important part of non-metallic metal? Trying to learn gold non-metallic metal currently.
100%. It is the place where you find the most contrast in the metal. So what you're hunting for when painting reflective surfaces, you'll hear me use the term reflective surface painting more than non-metallic metal most of the time. And the reason is that it's not just limited to metal. It is glass, it's plastic, shiny lenses on eyes, gems, all of these things are reflective surfaces. Technically, everything is a reflective surface, right? It's just that some things reflect more than others. So when we look at it that way, then the big point case in point is that transition from mid-tone to highlight and the location of highlight versus darkness is what will bring shine into it. Okay? It's what makes a thing look shiny or not. And the edge highlight is the spot where you're generally are the brightest. So it is I don't know if it's the single most important, but it is highly important to the pulling off of the look.
Lee Pitts says, which is a better match for Citadel, Incuban Darkness? Dark Sea Ben, Dark Emerald, or Dark Jade? Here's the color, Jason.
Incubi Darkness is like probably more Dark Sea Ben out of all of those.
This one right here?
I need to see Dark Emerald. Probably Dark Sea Ben is the best on that one.
Dark Sea Ben?
Yeah, because I mean, like you can see Dark Sea Ben here dried on the cap of the bottle.
Yeah. Oh,
so that's very close to like an Incubi Darkness. Maybe a tad less green, but still works in the place where you would use that color for sure.
Danger Boy says, damn, you're all a bad influence. Talk about paint, I buy paint. Talk about cookies, I got some cookies. Thanks.
I mean, we never said.
Stan says, who? Woo, someone else who hates Oreos. Whenever someone offers me one, I say, I don't like them, and you could easily think I just told them I murdered their family.
I feel like it's a very controversial subject. My entire life I've been lambasted, abused, and tossed away, discarded because of my view of Oreos.
I would say,
as Jordan would say, it's like you're entitled to your opinion, even though it's wrong.
I would say Oreos are 100 times better with whole milk.
If I have to have
100%.
cookies that come in a package like Oreos do, those cookies would need to be Chips Ahoy.
Yeah, yep, those are good. In milk, they're good too.
And Chips Ahoy are also good in milk. I don't dunk them like that, but I drink milk with them. But it would have to be Chips Ahoy. I'm not a fan of store-bought cookies, right? I like freshly baked cookies. Those don't come around very often, so store-bought cookies are the thing if you want cookies a lot. But yeah, I like Chips Ahoy because they use the semi-sweet chips in them instead of milk chocolate. I don't like the soft bake ones. I think they use a different chip in those. I'm just very selective about chocolate, right?
Hey,
like,
man.
Don't come at me trying to say that white chocolate is chocolate. I will give you.
Hey, dude. Yeah, man. You do you, man.
Hey, we are not a kumbaya drum circle stream here.
You do you, man. You want to dunk?
I hate when he does this. I hate when he does this.
What do you mean?
I hate it when you do this.
You do what you want, man.
I hate it when you do that.
Get your dunk on. Don't get your dunk on.
This is the worst Matthew McConaughey impression I've ever heard.
That's not even what I'm going for. I'm just here for you, man. Oreos pale is in comparison to Great British.
All right.
all right. Zambi says, white chocolate isn't real chocolate. Hot take.
It isn't. It's not. It is pure sugar. There's no cocoa in it.
Do you dunk your white chocolate, Jason?
I don't go near white chocolate, and all of you heretics that do should seek counseling.
Oh my gosh. Hey, we can't talk about that because I can't talk about painting the Iowa set. I didn't finish that. Because I said painting the inside of your vehicles was not good. So we can't say that about white chocolate.
What does one have to do with the other? This is the worst logic I've ever heard.
No, I'm sorry. I did not finish my statement. I know. Don't clip that. Somebody's going to clip it. You can't talk about what now? I know. I didn't finish that statement.
Paid professional, chat. Paid professional.
Cockpits. Not talking about cockpits is what I meant to say.
Paid professional, chat.
Oh.
Paid professionally. He gets paid to do this job.
Thank you, everybody. I'm here till Thursday.
Thursday.
What day is it? It's Wednesday.
Is it
the pit
it
of
is
what?
Wednesday, isn't it?
It doesn't feel like Wednesday. Every day's a Monday.
Oh, geez. Here we go.
Yeah, sorry, everybody. Hey, take it easy.
Here we go.
I'm here for a long time, not a good time.
Wait a minute.
No, you heard me right. Anyway, speaking of painting stream, we're back. We're back on track with that one. I love that I have to put my little toys back here, otherwise they.
I love that you have to call yourself out for derailing the stream.
Hey,
you blow the train whistle, and
dude.
it's always because of you.
I know. Somebody's got to get us back on track, even if I was the culprit.
You're the one that got us off track.
I know. It's a beautiful thing. That self-control, that self-analysis.
This
in
feels
real
like
time.
some awkward job security thing you're trying to create here.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you need me because somebody has to keep this stream on track. And I'm like, but Chris.
That's a good point. I'd say like an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. I don't know what to say.
But you can't be both.
Could we, though?
Oh, geez.
See how I did that?
Chat.
There's always a Gollum and a Smeagol.
Chat, can somebody...
Everybody who says something is banned. Instant ban hammer.
Everybody's banned before you can answer his next question.
Happy hump day, Michael Holtz. Yes. Just make sure you eat the paint in the meantime. No, false.
Whoa, wait, whoa.
Hey,
How did we get here from there? I know there's a Zambies in chat, but we will not stand for this.
Can't talk about what I understand what I said, and I take it back. Or
Just
do I?
because Zambies is here, we will not
We won't eat the paint.
support paint licking.
I won't do it.
You heretics.
18 sushi
You
points to
filthy
Jason.
animals.
Jason, I told you I shut that economy down. The sushi point economy is down.
Wait a minute.
I turned it off. I had to reset.
What about all your
economy.
investors?
I know, dude. World panic.
I know, dude. World panic.
Sammy says, that's right. None is allowed to eat paint but me. False.
I think he just admitted to rug pulling his sushi points.
No,
His
I
crypto scam is
I
real.
didn't do that.
Where's CoffeeZilla?
I had to reestablish.
We need to be
economy.
sponsored by CoffeeZilla.
We need so many sponsors.
We can be sponsored by CoffeeZilla.
First of all, I'm getting Dawn soap. I know we talk about
and when we
that.
call him and say, hey, we'd like to know if you'd like to sponsor our live stream about painting miniatures that you know nothing about.
No.
And the reason, wait a minute, before you make a decision,
Okay.
the reason we want you to sponsor is because we have done our own crypto scam.
See, maybe there is something
created
to this.
sushi points.
Okay.
And then delivered them and then took them all away from people with no notice and no return on their investment.
Rav says Monument Coin when?
Sushi coin.
Here, okay. I know we joke about sponsors, but there is
Hear me out, chat.
Hear me
That's
out.
the next thing.
There is a world where I could hypothetically, with the clips that I could generate about Jason talking about chocolate milk, that we could try to get some really small local brand chocolate milks and have Jason give a hyper critique on it in a good way, right? Be like, okay,
whoa. Are there local chocolate milks?
we'll find them.
There's a dairy that supplies.
And I know there's one in Tucson.
There's a dairy that supplies Sprouts because Jen got the chocolate milk for me that came in like a glass.
That's what I get.
Dairy container.
That's the
It's
brand that I
horrible.
get. What?
Yeah, it's horrible.
The chocolate milk one?
I'm not looking for my chocolate milk to be like all natural.
Oh, I haven't tried that
because there are
one.
not natural chocolate cows. So there's a problem with this whole theory. And when you come in hot and you say, you know what, if you're going to drink chocolate milk, it at least should be healthy. I'm like, whoa.
That's a good point. I think we could get sponsors for chocolate milk, 100%. If you were
I'm
like,
down.
Chris,
the problem is that, and this is one of my
you.
things that I feel very badly about, chat, is that I buy Nestle's Quick, even though Nestle is like the demon company of the planet.
What are your thoughts on Ovaltine?
You know, if it was more chocolatey, I would like Ovaltine.
Okay.
I grew up with Ovaltine.
But not Hershey. You're not a Hershey
syrup and milk is like heresy, pure heresy.
Okay, I figured you wouldn't like that. Ovaltine's okay, right? I could.
It's okay. It's not
some
chocolate.
Ovaltine.
It's like when your mom. So I grew up with a very hippy dippy mom.
Yeah.
I say grew up. My mom's very hippy dippy. She's never changed.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only thing now is that she doesn't force me to eat carob instead of chocolate. I can actually have chocolate now. But when I was a kid. She was like, it was like the meme nowadays is, oh, we have chocolate at home, son. When I was wanting chocolate at the grocery store, oh no, we have chocolate at home. Our chocolate at home was carob.
I don't know what that is.
Has anybody been forced to eat carob in their entire life?
Carob?
Carob, C-A-R-O-B. Has anybody ever had to eat carob?
I've never tried it. What if it was white chocolate milk? No,
that's just milk.
Can we get a Monument Hobbies?
Does Jason like
powder?
Yoo-Hoo? I have drank a Yoo-Hoo once in my life, maybe twice. And I have to admit that chocolate water is a weird experience. It's a weird experience. I do not like it, but I have to admit that the second one I drank, because I was like, I can't remember if the first one was really that bad, so I downed the second one. The second one, I finished all in like one go. I drank the whole thing. It was one of their little bottles. I drank the whole thing because it was not really great.
This is why I'm telling you, you could get a sponsor for chocolate milk.
Mysterion, you've had carob because your girlfriend can't have chocolate. What on earth is carob, Avian? Yeah, it's terrible. It's fake chocolate, right? So,
Monument Hobbies chocolate.
Dude, I would literally, if I could find a chocolatier that would do dark chocolate M's, we'd get sued by Mars Company instantaneously if we made a chocolate M.
Why? No. You could do, not with ours.
With our logo?
Ours is trademark where you get the actual thing. It's not an M. It looks nothing like the NMM thing.
All right, we'd have to look at it. I would dude, now you've got me thinking, let's make chocolate.
It does not look like the M thing. It is totally its own thing.
We'd make chocolate.
Because you would make like
How fun would it be to make a Monument Hobbies confectioner's chocolate thing that had the filling in it, like the Valentine ones, and they were named by our colors. You had mahogany for like the raspberry one. All right. You'd have like all the colors for the filling. I'm down.
Are your paints designed for hand brushing or airbrushing?
Yes. Flight Sim, Race Sim.
Both.
Flight Sim, Race Sim, you've been here for a long time. You know this. We know you. We've seen you before. Yeah, brush and airbrush, both. Same paint, all the techniques. You don't have to buy an airbrush paint to make it airbrush. Airbrush is great. All of these models here have been done with the airbrush with no thinning. So pop in really close.
Yeah.
I'll show you the texture you get. None, right? So this base coating started with Payne's Gray, as you can see, then into Dark Plum, then Bold Pyro Red, and then Orange Red, and then a mix of Orange Red with Warm Flesh as the highlight. And the highlight is the only one where I thinned it, right? There's like resin all over this. But, yeah, and this was all done with no thinning except for that highlight color. So I have no problem putting the paint right in the airbrush and just spraying it. It gives you good vibrant base coats. You get really good action through the airbrush with it. It's a fantastic paint for that. And then obviously we're brush painting with it now. So.
Okay, because I was having issues with the airbrush. I don't know what the issue is, but definitely use less.
Mm-mm.
That's what my number one tip now, since Jason's told me that.
If you're ever having issues with our paint through your airbrush, it is 100% a clog in your airbrush.
Yeah.
100%. It could be the way you're thinning it. There are different areas. If you're in an area that's like, I mean, we're in Arizona, it's super dry here, and I put it in the airbrush with no thinning. But you may want to thin it with some flow improver if it's tip drying and stuff like that.
You could use glaze and wash medium, too.
Our paints are ultra matte, and ultra matte paints do not have the same ability to like glide over a surface that like a satin paint would. So there is a world where if there is any micro texture or dried paint on the inside of your airbrush, matte paints will fill up and grab that texture quicker and clog your airbrush. So you have to be careful to make sure you really, really clean a brush before painting with any ultra matte paint, right? But yeah, once you clean it, you can spray through it all the time. When you raced mountain bikes in the 1980s, your girlfriend insisted on care. Well, yeah, well that was in the 70s and 80s is what I'm talking about. How are gradients so smooth without thinning? Great paint. How much? You think TI white?
I think you're trying to say, Michael Holtz, how much would you thin?
Titanium white?
Yeah.
Depends on what you're doing with it. Again, like I say, okay, so bright colors I typically thin no matter what because they create the most contrast on the model. And by creating all that contrast, you'll see the speckling more. Dark colors tend to look like they have a good transition even if they have a little bit of speckling because you can't see the contrast, right? So when you go from like Payne's gray to dark plum to bold pyro red, all of those colors will look like they blend better with the airbrush just by the nature of the airbrush doing the atomization of paint. There can be some speckles in there that you'd never notice. As soon as you go to your highlight, thinning your highlight makes a lot of difference because it is going to create contrast, and those little dots, you can see them now. So thinning 50-50 with bright colors is where I generally start, and then it depends on what you're doing. Are you filtering the color, or are you looking for a very bright highlight, right? In both cases, thin more than you think you need to make sure it works through the airbrush, and then you can build up layers. The scare tactic with that is that the more you thin the paint through the airbrush, the less control you have as how the paint acts on the surface. So you have to be very good with your control and your feathering of the trigger to make sure you don't put out a lot of very thin paint on the model at any given time, because we've all seen those spider web legs that it grows, pooling that it will do. So the thinner you go, the harder it is to control it with the airbrush. So you just have to have a confidence for how you use your airbrush. And then leaving it thick causes problems with bright colors. So you got to find that in between. And that's why I say 50-50 is a good place to start. So I don't do 50-50 water and paint because that lowers the viscosity, makes it too runny. I do 50-50 with like glazed wash medium and paint, and then just a drop or two of water, depending on how much paint you've got in there to make it runny enough to go through the airbrush nice.
And what was the PSI range you use?
Whatever.
Jason,
Aaron Lovejoy sprays our paints at like 45 PSI. He's insane.
I do that with big panels, and I like doing that, but I'm doing huge areas.
Yeah, like on the Titan and all that.
You like the small, you like
I run it at 22 PSI for everything I do, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. I never change off at 22 PSI, but that's how I've grown to feel comfortable airbrushing. I can do anything I need to do at 22 PSI. Very fine detail, large panels, anything I need can go at that range. I'm in a very dry climate in Arizona, but I've used that in everywhere from New York humidity, California humidity, Colorado dryness. Everywhere I go, I start at 22 to 25 PSI max. You notice when you go pretty far back on the trigger, my airbrush, the H&S Ultra, has a trigger stop for priming, base coats, etc., and I keep getting clogs. Finally, I realized that I had to turn up the PSI if I wanted to use that trigger stop. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's all based on what they do on the taper of their needle and such, right? Some airbrushes, you have to pull the trigger back further to open the aperture enough for paint. We're using our Grex. The taper is I won't say super short, but it's shorter, meaning that I don't have to pull the trigger back as far to get paint, but I can still pull it back all the way. And I'm using a 0.3 and a 0.2 needle, which are still both very small apertures, right? So you can go to 0.5, you can do whatever you need to do, but, you have to understand that the way the airbrush works is as you pull it back, the needle exits the nozzle, and the opening gets larger the further back the needle goes. So a little bit of paint comes out when you pull it back a little bit because there's just not enough space around the needle yet. It hadn't cleared the hole all the way. Pull it back all the way, and now the needle has opened the hole to its full extent, right? The needle is just barely in the hole. And so it has to still be there. It can't pull back all the way or the paint wouldn't make it out of the airbrush. So the needle is still just a hair's breadth outside of the nozzle. But at that point, you have almost a whole nozzle opening, and then that's when you get the most paint. Right? And that's where you wind up having to find all of your control in airbrushing. The thinner the paint is in viscosity. Remember, we talk about thinning in two ways. We thin for viscosity and we thin for opacity, right? Pro-acryl in general does not have to be thinned for viscosity. You really only want to focus on thinning it for opacity. Now, that being said, in the airbrush, depending upon how you like to paint, you can thin for viscosity as well. If you're making washes out of it, then you thin for viscosity because you want the wash to run over the model more. But our paints come out of the bottle ready to use for virtually any technique, including dry brushing and everything else. You don't need an exceedingly thick paint to dry brush. You don't need an exceedingly thin paint to airbrush. You just have to define your airbrush technique to fit the paint you have. And you can thin our paints down however you want to for viscosity and make them more watery. You just have to have more control over your airbrush. But you're already good at doing that if you're used to that consistency of paint. Priming, you like a higher PSI? Yeah. Be careful with priming. The trick there is that a lot of people expect to cover their model quickly with priming because it's not the fun part of painting. It's actually the opposite that you need to be focused on. Put less paint on the model and more layers when priming, because priming is crucial to make sure that each layer adheres to the surface great. And primer being thicker and being a polyurethane base in most cases, if you put a lot of paint out on the model, the top layer dries. You're creating multiple layers of paint whether you like it or not because it's thicker. The bottom won't cure as fast as the top meeting the air. And so if you put a lot of primer out by using a lot more PSI and putting a lot more paint out, then you be careful because it'll feel dry, but it'll tear off the model because the bottom layer hasn't adhered to the plastic or the metal or the resin yet. So thin layers that dry, like the first layer I put on when priming, I can still see the gray plastic through it. And that's fine. That's the way you want it. The second layer, you can see a little bit of gray plastic. The third layer, I cover it all up, and now it's solid. But each one of those dries, and now I have good adhesion, which is why you don't ever see me, the paint skating off as I hold the model. 100% of the people that have problem with the priming coming off, assuming they didn't spray it in some weird humidity or something like that, or when it was raining,
Right.
Is because they put too much paint on the model. And that underneath layer of paint doesn't dry, but the top layer feels dry. And then as you start touching it, the bottom layer never got a chance to cure and adhere properly, and it'll start scraping off. Same happens with cars when they paint them and the whole nine. Can you give me a workup for how I would do salamanders? Your approach did start with dark plum, much like Payne's Gray on the models you were using now. Yeah, I think the dark plum would be a great one, kind of a reddish background for it. Then you could go into like dark yellow green, yellow green, bright yellow green would be really cool. That's a little maybe too goblin flesh, maybe some camo green in there too. But I think that the yellow greens, maybe a spot of green. It depends on how green you want it and how faded you want it. I like my stuff to be a little bit more what I would call worn out military feeling rather than that bright green. Bright green on armor is a little weird for me. So I probably go with dark yellow green. I would start with dark purple or dark blue, believe it or not, just like I always do. And then I would do the dark yellow green, and then I would look at it and see how I liked it with the yellow green. And if I needed to push a little bit more green into it, I might mix a little bit of green in there, the regular green. With painting fur, I'm thinking about starting with dark umber. What would be the next steps for layering to finish with a dark, dirty white? Dark umber, and then over the top of dark umber, you could do something like neutral, warm gray. Right? Yeah. So dark umber, warm gray as a more mid-tone. If dark umber is your shadow, warm gray as your mid-tone. Then probably bright neutral gray over the top of that. And you probably mix the warm gray with the dark or with the bright neutral gray to get a third color out of all that. And then decide whether or not you think that the bright neutral gray is bright enough for your white. Or if you then want to use some transparent white or bold titanium white to highlight the tips of the brightest spots. That would give you a very dirty look right off the gates. Because the brown would give you a dirty shadow. The warm gray keeps it dirty as it goes through the mid-tone.
What thinners do you recommend for your paints for airbrush?
Our glaze wash medium and water. You don't need anything special. I don't use any airbrush thinners. Things that are labeled as airbrush thinners or reducers, I tell people to stay away from them with water-based paints, unless the specific paint you're using has one that they suggest. Should primer be opaque at the end, or is it fine as long as the other paint sticks to it? The only reason a primer wouldn't be opaque is that there's spots that aren't primed all the way, right? Because primer is done with pigments like carbon black and such that are opaque by their nature. It's not translucent. So if the primer is see-through, there's a problem. You've probably thinned it, which you shouldn't do. But if there's spots that aren't primed, then I always worry about paint tearing in those spots. But it's not a huge deal, you know. I pretty much like to make sure that the model is opaque with the primer color all over because I'm using the primer as the first coat of paint. In my case, black most of the time, so it's a shadow. And I make sure that it's always in the spots that need to be the darkest, which are the hardest parts to prime. The underarms, the crotch, all the things that are hard to get to if you're rattle canning from the top, right? So that's pretty crucial. Payne's Gray. Oh, on here right now it's it was done with Payne's Gray, but it's our expert acrylic Payne's Gray, not the liquid acrylic Payne's Gray. They're two different colors. I say two different colors. The expert acrylic Payne's Gray is darker, same color, darker, right, than the bottled Payne's Gray. And so I did it with the expert acrylic Payne's Gray. Over the top of that, I did blue black, and then over the top of blue black, I'm now doing the blue black mixed with the bright pale yellow.
Nick says, do you varnish your minis after painting to avoid paint chipping?
Nah.
I like varnishing my minis because it's fun. My mind.
It brings it all together, especially when you're using metallics and stuff. I love the way it makes a model look, a military style model look when you varnish it, because a varnish is like a clear glaze, but it can make your brush strokes even out if you've painted really fast and loose and have a lot of texture you don't want. Varnish can do that for you too. So,
Estrella, what about drying retardant?
For what, airbrush?
Yeah.
You can do it. Our glaze wash meeting has a retardant in it, so that's why we use it, right? Because it's a drying retardant, a flow improver. It does all of that stuff. So it's called glaze wash medium because I didn't want people to think that, it will act as a flow improver. You're probably better off to go buy a flow improver because you won't spend the money maybe on the glaze and wash medium for the other things it does.
Yeah.
But it's like a multi-tool.
Flight says, have to tell you that I've tried just about every skin tone paints on the market, and I confidently say your skin tone paints are the best that I've used.
Awesome.
That's cool. That's cool results.
Awesome.
We have a great VOD series where Jason painted up a surfer girl going from underpainting all the way up to our finished model, which definitely can show you how to do a lot.
It's a different type of thing than using the skin tones, though, so... The skin tones do work really, really well just on their own as providing really good flesh tones. But there are other more advanced ways to paint flesh that use the skin tones in different manners, but they are very, very flexible in that way.
Hang on, is the glaze and wash medium supposed to be super thick?
It is thicker than the paint, which is why you have to use water with it in most cases. The reason for that is so that it can help people who are learning to glaze. Because the paint feels like paint. The biggest problem that most everybody has when learning how to glaze is that when you thin your paint for opacity, meaning you can see through it and it makes a good glaze, is that you're also thinning it for viscosity, meaning it's runnier and harder to control. And so many people have a hard time painting with watery paint. It slides all over the model. It's harder to get your brush strokes to stay cohesive and where you want them. So yeah, it is thicker for that reason.
What's up, Chuck?
It's when you get really sick.
What's up, Chuck?
Yeah.
Oh, I get what you're trying to say here. What's up, Chuck?
It's when you get really sick and you have to pray to the porcelain god.
The porcelain god. I have your TCG player says, I have your matte varnish, but do you sell a satin varnish or a gloss varnish? We do.
We sell the gloss, and when you mix the gloss with the matte, you get satin.
And then you can do different ratios to get different sheens, correct?
Yeah, there's really no reason for a satin varnish on its own. It's just a gloss mixed with a matte. So you can take our matte and our gloss varnish, mix them together, and get any type of sheen that you'd like. But yes, we do. We make all of the above. Gloss, matte, the glaze wash medium we're talking about can matte surfaces as well. It's not as intense as the matte varnish, but it can work. I've had some people that will use the glaze wash medium by itself in the airbrush to spray on areas to matte it down while they're working. You can do that. All right, I think I got all the steel areas now. Ish. Sort of. Oh, no, I didn't.
Imitation Marty just says, just curious, any plans for speed paint line or some effects paints?
We've been asked the speed paint line more times than I can imagine, and the answer has always been that if I can do something that would make me use it, yes. I personally don't like paints like that. They are not what I would call quality paints. They're hard to use for other things, but that being said, they're really, really cool. So I've always struggled with it because on the one hand, I'm like, yeah, I would love to have something that not only makes people more confident jumping into the hobby, but that can be used in ways down the road for people that don't paint that way anymore or want to do more detailed painting. Our theory here is we don't ever want to sell you a paint that doesn't hold its value as you grow as a painter. Right? Pro-Acryl is made to do everything from beginning level painting to the most advanced level painting you can imagine. And it works great at all levels. Now, that being said, it's not going to just grab and then, speed paint a model. You're not going to slap chop a model with Pro-Acryl your first day and be happy with it because we don't make a paint that's that see-through right out of the bottle. So we understand that. But those paints only become good for new painters and then painters that have gotten a tremendous level of learning under their belt before they become useful again.
Yeah.
So what you see, the two ends of the spectrum there. You don't find a whole lot of people. I'm not saying that people don't exist in the middle. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that a lot of people buy them to learn how to paint, and that's great. And then they start learning to paint otherwise, and now you have all these paints you don't use anymore. Or you use them as a base coat, and you try to cover them up, and a lot of them don't react well to painting over and glazing over and all the techniques you're going to be learning up and down the road. So we don't want to. I won't make that. What I would try to make is a line that allows you to use it from day one as your first model, all the way through your comfort level and doing all that, and then all the way through like what I'm doing right now, right? A line that I could continue to use for a display model. I would find a need to use it there, but it doesn't cut anybody out in the middle because you don't ever want to look at something you paid money for and go, that was great when I use it, but I don't use it that much.
Game Delay, great question. I've been thinking about loose painting styles, which I definitely have. Are there artists Jason admires that use a loose painting style?
Artists that I admire that use a loose painting style?
Yeah, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Loose versus tight painting style, maybe more sketchy or something.
Yeah, I feel like the Craft World Studios folks do the best job at that. Of people I can just say right off the top of my head you could go look at.
Craft World Studios.
Craft World Studios. They're great and do a fantastic job of not caring about smoothness. There's a lot of painters out there. Believe it or not, if you go hashtag F smoothness, I'm not going to say it out loud, but you can imagine what the F stands for, right?
Really?
Yeah. On like Instagram and stuff, you'll find a whole group of artists that will paint with heavy textures.
Oh, interesting. I would like to see that.
And they're all very high grade painters. And, so there's a world where you could go look at that if you want to get inspiration for that kind of what we call loose and textured paint style. I don't really know. I mean, it's kind of the style that I've always painted with, but I also like, smooth blending when it's called for. So I think that, again, it's always good to have the tools to be able to do whatever the model needs in the situation you're trying to.
And would you lean more towards loose painting yourself?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Okay, I see.
100%. I'm less worried about blending in most things until it's called for, like I'm saying.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And there's definitely a spot where it's called for, in some areas, especially with like non-metallic metal, you blend more as you go towards your highlight. You blend less on your base coats. That's what I'm doing right now. So I will use a little bit thinner paint as we go brighter because I can't have the contrast of the brush stroke overtake the model that we're painting. Otherwise, it stops looking like metal and looks like fur, or looks too beat up. So there's a point where texture changes what the model reads as.
Yeah.
So I'm always careful about that, or at least thinking about it. I don't know if I'm always careful about it. Yeah, it's I would definitely think I have a more loose and open style because I just kind of have to in order to get anything done while painting on stream.
Yeah,
because I'm talking 90% of the time I'm painting.
Yeah, we answer a lot of questions,
and so it is defocusing when you are doing that. If you are trying to, do something too delicate, you'll notice, and chat knows it, whenever I go into that tunnel vision where I'm not talking is when I'm doing something that is, fairly tight blends, very specific paint locating, things like that, which still look good, look great. There's a need for them, but, I prefer to be loose and more open brushstroke.
Hyun John says, when using GW medium, are you still aiming for that paint colored water?
I don't know GW mediums, like Lamian medium or something. I don't know it. I don't ever use it, so I don't know what it does. But What, are you aiming for paint colored water? No. Paint colored water sounds like a dangerous thing to me. Because it means it's really runny, right? Is that what you mean?
I think that's what you're meaning there, Helyon.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Help me understand what it is you're referring to, because paint colored water is a rarity as far as like techniques that we want to do. Some people might tell you that, you know, you want the consistency of skim milk to airbrush with, and I'm against that. I don't think that's true.
Oh, wait. Glaze and wash medium. Okay. I thought it said just G and W. So I thought you meant Games Workshop. Okay. It's glaze and wash medium.
Sorry, I can only go by what Chris tells me.
I'm sorry.
And
yes,
Chris is ruining you right now.
No, I'm not. Glaze and wash. Okay. I thank you. So you're going for, are you still aiming for the paint colored water?
Again, I would need to understand,
Yeah.
Are you meaning paint colored water like it's runny? Because no. I'm not searching for runny paint hardly ever.
I think that's what you're meaning.
There are a couple of occasions where I'm doing a super light filter. I don't want a whole lot of color out of it.
Okay. This is when glazing. I've seen people say the thin it to colored water. Oh, like pigment is barely there. Okay, that makes more sense.
Those people have got more time than sense. I'm just going to be blunt. If you're painting with stuff that's thin to a watery consistency, you're doing 15 layers to get your color back, and your color is going to be desaturated because you add that much thin color, you're losing vibrancy with each layer. I prefer to glaze in 2 to 3 layers of paint max. Now, there are times where I will thin it down to a watery consistency with very little color because I'm doing like the flush or blush on a cheek, and I want just a little bit of magenta to come in on the cheek, and it's got to be just barely there. Then yeah, I'll thin it down to where there's almost no pigment, but it has to be purposefully done so that I'm not looking for a lot of pigment on the model before I thin it that much.
Yeah.
I thin it to the level I want the pigment to look like on the model is, I guess, the best way to say that. So sometimes I don't thin much at all, right? It's like I can take the color that we're doing now, which is this, this black blue or blue black, right? If I take a little bit of it, heavily thinned into like more of a glaze consistency, and I can do it to where I've got it, I don't know how thin that is, but, you know, very, very thin. You can see my skin color all the way through it, right? And then I would adjust up or down, right? I can add more water to that mix, right? And I can get it to where it even has less opacity.
But then you're saying that that's just, why would you do that unless you're looking for that? You can eliminate steps, essentially.
Yeah. So it just depends. Do I want to see very little? Then I add a whole lot of water and it becomes more like paint colored water. Somewhere in the middle is just thin paint, and I want to be able to have the blue have more intensity, the blue black have more intensity, and then there's very little water where I still can see through it, but it's going to turn whatever I paint it over. Like for shadows, I want that shadow to become blue black and have a little bit of red underneath it. Here, I want to have the shadow go into the midtones where I want to see more red than blue. And here, I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe the 5 o'clock shadow on somebody's chin where I don't want it to be blue, but I want it to darken up and the skin tone shows more through it than not. So there's a stage where I thin it differently for each way that I'm using it. There is no magic bullet, I can tell you, for glazing. And the problem, like a lot of times I say over thin and then layer back up. And when you're learning, that works. But if you thin it to where I'm afraid of that term, paint colored water. Because if you thin it to paint colored water, you're never going to get back up to the color you want. You're going to add so much and it's going to look so cloudy and gross by the time you do it, unless you are a serious professional and this is how you've learned and what is confident for you to do, then I would not teach people that way. If that's how you learn and that's what works for you and you gain control of that very thin coloring and you can manipulate it that way, there are some painters out there that paint fantastically by doing 20 layers of glaze. Like I say, I joke and say they have more time than sense because they could do the same thing with a couple of layers, right? But they haven't learned that way and don't feel comfortable that way, and that's fine. So don't ever get me to the point to where it's like, I'm a firm believer there's as many ways to paint as there are painters, but when it comes to learning, I feel like you're better suited to go 50-50. You know, don't thin it to paint colored water, thin it somewhere closer to just thin paint, right? Still see-through, and then practice with that. Thin it more when you need less color, thin it less when you need more color. Because glazing is a broad range of use. What we call filtering color, which glazing is just one way to filter, can be done in a myriad of ways.
Here's a question.
How similar is Noosh in feel and use to oil washes for recess washes and pin lining? Perhaps a better question is, what are the biggest differences versus a traditional oil wash?
It's an acrylic, so it will never have the ability to flow with that surface tension like oil does, right? Because the oil will skate along the surface and go further down the lines and panel lines if you pin wash, right? What it does do is it allows an acrylic to have the open time of an oil, meaning that you can do subtractive weathering with it. You can paint Noosh with a color in it over the top of your model and then wipe it off to get really, really cool weathering effects. So it does that part of oil filters very well. Pin washes and stuff it still does, but like we mentioned earlier, you would have to do more touches along the length of a panel line than you would with an oil. An oil, you might very well just touch it once on the line and it'll fill the whole line. The Noosh with the acrylic won't do that. You'll have to touch that same line 2 or 3 times to fill it with paint. But it still allows you to wipe off the excess to keep the surface clean, which is nice. Because with normal acrylics, you can't do that.
DCG Player says, what do you believe the difference is between army painters and competition painters?
I mean, most times, and that's kind of what we're talking about when we paint these blood angels, is that competition painters are typically only painting one model, right? It's not always true. They can paint units and things like that too. But typically you're focused on one model in one scene, right? And really honing the storytelling for that one model or group of models in that one scene. Army painters almost never think in terms of making a composition of their army, because if you do, it gets a little awkward, right? And by this, I mean, like, I don't consider these blood angels to be, they're an army. They're not a competition paint scheme. And the difference for me is that the lighting is not as dialed in from any one direction. I'm just doing generic lighting on them. It's from up above, right? It's sunlight from the top down. And that's all I'm concerned with. Because when you're painting an army, if you spend all the time to dial in the lighting direction and all that stuff, when you put them on the board, they look funky. It almost works against you because some of your models will be turned one way, some of your models will be turned another way, and that light source gets lost, and then they don't look as cohesive as you meant for them to be. And whereas if I were painting a unit for, say, Golden Demon, that unit could all be painted because they're going to be presented on the same display board and they're all facing the direction I'm in for them to face and all that. So I can get away with it, looking like they're all lit from 2 o'clock, that kind of stuff. So that's the world where I consider them to be different and how I consider them to be different, I guess, if that's fair. Does that kind of answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. Each trooper can have its own story. Panic Bomb.
They can in the personality of how you've used the colors on them. But you don't necessarily want them to have too much of a drama in a story because then they look incoherent on the table, right? An army has to be cohesive across all of the models, which is typically more of a color story, meaning that the coloring and the weathering is consistent, the basing is consistent, that kind of stuff. Unit markings are consistent, meaning you've done them the same way. If you do decals on part of the army, do decals on all of the army, that kind of stuff. Right? You're finding consistency through a mass of models all done in a similar way. Whereas in army painting, you don't have as many models and you're dealing more with storytelling, right? And so you don't have to worry as much about all that when army painting. That's
flies.
my 2 cents. It also, you take a lot of shortcuts when army painting generally to speed yourself up.
I would say with yours here, this is kind of a fine balance. Right? Like I would say you have a fine balance and a good balance between really high level painting, right? But also, you have a lot to paint. So the style you're doing right now, I feel like is
we got 70 something on models, so I'm not going to put the time and effort into each one of them.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not interested in that time outlay.
Right.
But you're right. I still want it to look very good.
You want it to be...
And so I'm just cutting the corners that I know I can live with cutting. Right?
Cutting the corners you know you can live with cutting.
Yeah, and it goes down to like the sketchiness we're talking about. I'm okay with these being sketchier looking when I get up close to them, right? Because like I said, from the 3-foot test, the gold on these guys looks great.
That looks amazing.
right? You put those on the table, and all of a sudden it's like, pop it out one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you can't.
This army is going to be spectacular. Good contrast. I can see all the bits. I know what's going on. I can see the trim. It's going to look really great on the table when I'm playing it. And then pop in super close.
Yep.
You pop in super close, and you can see my brushstrokes,
Yeah.
right? I'm not worried as much. Now, if this was a competition piece, I'd be blending the brushstrokes out a little bit more, unless there was a need for the texture, right? It's just chunky spots for shine, right?
Yeah.
Just a big chunky block of color for shine, right? So I'm not as attentive to all of the smoothness on these guys. Now, you could say I'm an insane man because we do lightning on the lightning claws and stuff, and I painted all the stuff non-metallic gold. But the reality is I'm doing it in a quick manner.
And then that's the result from
Right.
far out.
Yeah.
Right?
And so, again, it's like that's different than saying, hey, I want to paint my army in a day, and we're about to release the video on this guy, and this guy was painted in 2 streams?
3.
3 streams?
Well, the third one was your final detail stream.
Yeah.
Essentially. So
Yeah, so
3.
this was one where I would have painted him in basically, a day of sitting around painting at the house or whatever, right? And I could have done in the same time it took me to do and finish this guy, I probably could have done multiple squads to a very high level.
You could have
level of
batched
completion,
paint.
not high
Yeah.
level of detail. Because this was done all like dry brush and super fast.
Yeah, you did this
and
quickly.
you can see like the level of contrast is different, the brightness is different, the attention to shading on them is different, right? There's just a different vibe. One is not worse in status than the other. I mean, you could say that, obviously this guy it looks better, but this guy has a lot of contrast. Very simply, we just cut the corners we knew we could afford to cut to get the level of painting I wanted to get, right?
Yeah.
So, you can do this, and this costs X amount of time. You can do this, and this costs X minus amount of time.
Yeah.
And so it just depends going in, like, what I want my army to look like. Am I okay with this? A whole army like this would look bitching on the table. It has enough contrast. Again, when you pull out to the 3-foot level, it still looks good. So, you still can tell the difference in the armor panels and everything, the same way you can on the guy on the right. It's just that when you get up super close on this guy, pop in super close, this guy's got like dry brushing texture on him and things like that. Bigger, chonkier highlights and such. There you go.
Yeah.
Chonkier highlights and stuff, and less levels of paint. Each color is done in like 2 to 3 colors max, as opposed to over here with 5 to 6 colors to do my blends and things like that. So,
Yep. I told you guys it's coming. It's coming. I told you. Jason and I talked about it today. Told you to mark my words. It's coming out this week.
so he says.
We talked about it today. We talked about it. We want to make sure that when it comes out that you guys get good info from it.
Heck yeah.
So
The video looks really good, so I think you guys are gonna like it. But yeah, with regards to army painting and any painting, right? I'm always a fan of you sitting down and being honest with yourself and saying, what is my goal with this thing in front of me? Right? That's the biggest key. What do you want it to look like? And don't feel bad if you say, I don't care. I just need this painted because I have a D&D session on Thursday, and I need to go have my model painted with my friends. Nothing wrong with that at all. Paint it fast. Sit it down and be like, I finished. I got it done. I'm here.
I'm finished.
And you don't have to then, hold yourself accountable to, that's not my best paint job ever. The thing that really gets me is when people, and it happens to me especially all the time, and I'm not calling anybody out in particular, but please stop doing this, everybody. You walk up to me at a show and you hand me a model, and before I can even say anything, it's not my best job ever, you start making excuses for your paint job. Quit that.
Quit making excuses for your paint job.
Be proud of your work. Hand it to me and tell me how proud you are of it. Because I guarantee I'm going to look at it and never go, oh, dude, you really screwed the pooch on this one. This one's horrible. I'm going to look at it and go, oh, man, this is awesome. Because I can tell, or I'll ask, like, hey, what is this? This is a thing for your army? Or are you entering this in a competition? What's the deal? And you'll tell me, and we'll have a good discussion. But immediately people go into apologizing for their lack of detail when they talk to me. And I'm like, stop doing that, chat. Stop it. Take pride in your work. Be confident in why you painted it the way you did.
Right.
Hand it to me and go, dude, check out this model I painted in 2 hours at the speed painting thing. How rad is that for 2 hours worth of work? And then we'll focus on the stuff that's really cool for being done fast.
Yep.
Right? I don't paint fast. I think that the worst thing that has happened to the miniature world is the nonsensical communication from, teachers and companies and everybody alike that it's better to paint fast.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody that's been painting for years at a high level puts a video out that says, paint like me, I did these in 10 minutes. The only thing I know that video generates is tears.
Well, or
because nothing you do will cause your models to look like those models did in 10 minutes. Nothing.
It's kind of a feels bad.
It's a feels bad.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do that in 10 minutes. You'll get the gist of it, and you'll learn something from it. But stop thinking you have to do things in 10 minutes. Anything worth doing is worth taking the time to do.
Paint slower.
I don't know if you have to do that. I'm
Well,
not saying
you know
you
what I
can't
mean.
paint fast. I'm saying that painting fast shouldn't be the thing that is the holy grail. Take the time you need. Because I have a lot of people that are like, yeah, it just took me too long. And how long did it take you? Oh, they painted that in 3 hours. I'm like, what?
Well, that's also the joy of it too, right? It's the process. Enjoy the process.
Well, I like the process. Some people don't. Some people are just trying to get models on the table. So I totally understand the need for speed. Don't
That's
get me
true.
wrong there, right? There's going to be a need to paint things fast for sure. You're like, hey, dude, I got to get stuff done for the tournament. But what I'm saying is don't come up to me and apologize for having to get stuff done for the tournament really fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's rad, dude. At the Challengers Cup down in Dallas, Texas last year, the amount of people that would come up to me while I was judging models and give me their story about why their models looked horrible was unbelievable. And I'm like, dude, your models look rad. And the fact that you just told me you did that in 24 hours because you were the sub on the team who got called the day before because a guy called out sick and you had to buy plane tickets to travel to Dallas to play with your team and your army is finished?
That's commitment.
Dude, I gave that guy a coin just for being there.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you're rad. It doesn't matter what your models look like. That's the coolest story ever. You got a call on Wednesday, didn't even have a complete army, had to finish building his army and paint it all, and his team entered it in and actually got good pointing because the rest of the guys had a long time to finish their models. I was like, that's rad, dude. I love those stories. Painting under pressure, I don't know that I love.
Dapper Wonky says, I also think a lot of people who are itching to get an army on the table don't plan the painting very well, and you totally paint in a way where you get a few colors and coats on the army so that it's set up and taking to a higher standard later. Yeah.
100%.
Set yourself up for future, hey, I'll come back to this project.
Yeah, 100%. You don't have to do everything at once. You just want to make sure you don't cut corners that cause you to not be able to come back to it, if that's your goal.
Cutting corners.
Yeah, if you're painting fast and you're like, I really want to make this army look good at some point, then just don't cut the corners that make that impossible later, right?
I see what you're saying.
Like if you dry brush everything on the model to start to get it done super quick, don't go into that thinking you're going to come back and clean it up later, because the amount of time and effort to clean up the blends on a dry brush model is not going to be worth your time in most cases. Not saying you can't.
Just
never say never.
You don't set yourself
up for greatness, though, right? If you're going to dry brush the army like I did the Ultramarines, be satisfied that doing that paint job is exactly what you're going for, and it looks rad. And then you're done.
And that, that's what I'm doing with my Thunder Warriors right now, right? I'm really enjoying the process and just getting them done because I want to play the game.
Yeah.
Is the whole reason why I'm doing it at the level that I'm doing it at. But again,
I'd be okay with that. That's fine.
Yeah. And then I'm also finding out that I'll have to show you, Jason. I don't know if I've showed you pictures yet. But I'm figuring out how to do power weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I really was liking our fluorescent yellow.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Where I did a transparent white.
I can't believe you did the yellow over the gold. That was a brave move.
I'll admit I was a little scared, but I'm like, ooh, this actually looks okay.
Cool.
But I've also determined the other warriors are not going to be gold. They're just going to be iron.
Okay.
Because they probably, with a little bit more Reddit research, probably didn't have a whole lot of gaudy armor back in the day. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So for Thunder Warriors,
they were very
they would have been
jungle
iron.
war.
They would not have been gold.
Right. So I'm like,
the Custodes would be gold all the time.
I know. So my leaders are going to be tarnished gold, and I think the rest of them are going to be a little bit more rugged,
Gotcha.
grim dark.
Yeah, if you're going for making them look like the Thunder Warriors would have looked like, they were not a lot of. They might have had like gold accoutrement,
right,
but not gold armor.
Yeah. So my leaders are going to be gold, and that'll be okay because maybe that's how they got their gold. Some, it's tarnished gold essentially. So, but I'm going to do them more.
That Valdor book has some stuff about the leader of the Thunder Warriors, and it describes his armor in there or how he looked. So that one might have some good info for you.
I need to find
Birth of the
out.
Imperium. There might be some good info there.
Yeah, I was reading, it's like, well, technically they would probably just have not a mismatch of armor, but they would just have very functional armor.
Yeah.
Like earthy tones, earthy metals. So
the Emperor built them to have a due date.
That's it.
It's very Blade Runner-esque. It's very, these guys are meant to go to combat and then die. He did not have a plan for the Thunder Warriors, which is what ultimately was used against the Space Marines when Erebus started talking about heresy in the Horus heresy and got Horus to, and all the legions to do the lodges and stuff. He was like, look what the Emperor did to his previous soldiers. We're just going to become that. He has no need for us when this war is over. We're so much better than humans. We should stay alive, which is the exact story the Thunder Warriors had, which is exactly what Valdor thought in his mind when they turned the Space Marines loose on the Thunder Warriors to kill them at the end.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a whole story intertwining there that's really cool.
So maybe taking them in a little bit more of a darker metal on the next ones will be good, because then I feel like the fluorescent yellow will really make that OSL pop.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't know, man. It just gave me so much satisfaction, some of that yellow bleed onto the armor as I just sprayed it, right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite effect. That's why I did Nagash the way I did him, where it's just all that just OSL kind of, or just not even OSL, just spraying with an airbrush. I just like how it looks.
Now I've added a little bit more pale yellow of the bright pale yellow into the blue black.
Now, why didn't you use white blue for that?
Because this metal on him is different than anything else in the army.
Oh, I see.
There isn't anything else in the army that is dreadnought casing steel.
Yeah.
Right? So for the dreadnoughts, I'll do the steel in a different way than I might do if I were doing like the silver trim on the assault marines. Doesn't make sense that this would be the same. Not the same stuff. This is like heavy duty, this isn't trim on a shoulder pad. This is literally what he's made out of. Right?
Yeah.
So I tend to think of things like that in terms of, okay, what is the material? Is it the same thing? Then I can paint it the same color. If I'm painting browns on leather, is the leather the same? Like, is the leather for his pants the same as the leather for his boots? Then paint it the same color. If you think the leather on the pants is thinner, not the same, stiffness of hide, then don't use the same color. Right? Because you'll find yourself in a position where you don't seem to make sense if like a belt is generally not the same leather as a shirt. Right? Because a belt's going to have to be stiffer and more heavy duty. So I paint them differently. So in this case, this steel would obviously be something that was more intensely put together, I think, than the trim on a Space Marine shoulder pad. Mm-hmm. And you can see how it won't be as bright in its blue nature at the end.
Okay. Yeah.
But they'll be similar enough.
Stan says, I finally learned to give in to the fear. Trust my abilities and my ability to learn. At the end of the day, it's just paint we can repaint. Example, my attempt at non-metallic metal on my WE wasn't great. Okay, try something I'm comfortable with and get some bits to practice the technique. Yep.
Well, and when you showed me that, because I believe yours was the one that I commented on in the Discord, right? And the little doohickey on the chest you did spectacularly. So I was a little bummed out that you moved away from it because I thought you had it there. But I get it, right? I'm like, I applaud you for, again, looking at what your goal is and then going with your goal that makes you able to hit the final, right? What gets you to the finish line? If forcing yourself to do non-metallic metal doesn't get you to the finish line the way you want, don't do it. There's no reason. Not one in the world. So, switch over to metallics. They can look fantastic, right? I applauded you on that one. I was sad to see you go on the deal because you really hit that doohickey when you did the yellow over the green. Looked fantastic on the chest. I keep calling it the doohickey. Little chest emblem on the Space Marine thing.
It's a doohickey.
That's what I called it. It's a doohickey.
I said a chechapi.
It's not. That's not a word.
Can you say that word for me, though?
No.
Just like out loud?
No.
and a 1 and a 2 and
It's not a word.
my mother. She'd be upset with you.
Well, you get her on the horn.
I don't know if I'll do that.
I'm gonna say
Could
Mama
I-
Suchi.
I could. I'm tempted.
That is not a word.
50% of me is
You don't
tempted
get
to
to
do
just
that.
make stuff up. This is when it's like, Jason, all words are made up.
There's a lot of things I need to do. I need to get the call center going here. I need to get a call. I need to have people be able to call into stream. I'm going to get that going. A lot of things, chat, I need to do. Michael Holt says, I generally paint armies with 3 layers to give volumetric highlights. With my airbrush, then characters get a couple more highlights, but all have TMM for edges on Chaos Guys. I really can't differentiate much more colors with my eyes. That's one way to do it. I love our metals, man. I can't wait to do that on my Thunder Warriors where I do all that underpainting and then I do that metallic dry brush. Come on now.
Yeah, that's become your favorite way to paint. And it looks so good. I can't even argue with you. It's what I'm going to do on that Iron Warriors army I got.
Oh,
I'm going to do them all in just dirty steel.
Yeah.
If I choose to do the Iron Warriors.
I physically just like doing that paint method.
I will not be doing another army to this level.
I did. That's how I did the Titan base. Like the Titan, I just did that, but all of it. The under bits, right? The inner workings. Donnie says, anyone have a favorite red paint for Anglo-Zulu War era British colonial armies?
I mean, I really think that our either black red or burnt red into bold pyro red is the key. I think that's a great color.
One more time, you said what?
Either black red or burnt red into bold pyro red. Our bold pyro red handles British style red army stuff great.
We need a video method. We have that. We have a short on that as well.
On what?
The rusty metal.
Oh, yeah.
We have a great one for it. I'll do it just for fun.
It's just a great way to paint metal.
Fun.
Stop it. Quit.
What am I singing?
You're not supposed to be doing that at all.
Oh, Tannenbaum.
Quit it.
Has anybody tried the expert line with noosh? ?
Very doable.
What would be a use case for that, Jason?
I mean, you're just coloring noosh, so you can use whatever paint you want.
I guess so. Look at me, trying to overthink it.
You're overthinking it, Chris.
Let me just put some Payne's Gray in that noosh, man. I don't know, but that just makes me want to do it. It's against the rules, Chris, says Lumberjack. Yeah, it was a combination of Amazing Grace, O Tannenbaum, and then some other Christmas song. That's what I was going through my mind, Panic Bomb.
I just keep hitting this doohickey there. I cannot get this arm painted without hitting freaking blue all over that stupid bump on the arm.
Kabump. It's against the rules. Game delay. Did you know you can sing the lyrics of Amazing Grace to the melody of Gilligan's Island? No, I won't. A 3-hour tour. Okay, enough of us.
To leave.
No, Raph, I don't take song requests. I won't do it.
They're seeing how much it's annoying me, and they're telling you to do.
I know.
They're egging
That's
you
why
on
I don't want to
for the
annoy
pain.
Jason. I truly don't.
For my pain, Chad.
I
realize this. You're not safe. I see what you're doing.
What do you mean I'm not safe?
I'm talking to chat right now.
Hey, Dr. Boinzer. Raiding with Party 2. Welcome in, Raiders.
What's going on?
We're just sitting and painting some deets and doots of non-metallic steel. Or is this silver? No, this is steel. We've been working on this Blood Angels.
I don't know what they make dreadnoughts out of.
We've been making progress on this Blood Angels armor over the army over how long have we been doing this?
Oh God, here he goes.
No, this is a good thing. I'm actually very happy with you. August, no, technically we did the Saturnine guy.
Yep.
We've been working on it for a minute, and that's okay.
This is the year of the Blood Angels.
I love it though. I think. Okay.
Here's what I will say. I think a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are, I feel like a lot of people are getting a lot
Remember
of
the
benefit.
politician thing we talked
No,
about, chat?
this is a good thing. I think a lot of people.
It is really taking you a long time to get this out.
No, it's because I'm also reading chat.
Why don't you focus on saying what you're saying?
Philip is so silly. I think a lot of people have seen you do this, and even though it might be, in quotes, the same army and same project, there's been quite a lot of learning and hopefully a lot of inspiration to get people to stinking get their armies done.
Stinking get their armies done.
Would you concur, Doctor? Doctor? Oh, well, there's two doctors. Doctor just invaded, and Jason's a doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
Do you concur, though?
I'm yes, maybe. What did I just come to?
I was saying that people are inspired while watching you paint an army to this level.
One can only hope.
With the clinical evidence of what chat says, I do concur.
One can only
Doctor Boyd Zerg also concurs.
Okay,
perfect. Thank you for that raid, by the way. We appreciate those raids.
Welcome, everybody.
We are Monument Hobbies. My name is Christopher. That's Jason, HBDC Craze.
That's not my name.
And we make all of the beautiful products you see Jason using right now. Isn't that right, Jason?
Oh, here we go.
Also, I'm running for mayor of Carefree. I've decided. Thank you, everybody.
Great.
Don't ask what your country can do for you. Or whatever he says.
Or whatever he says.
I don't know. We put a man on the moon. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it first.
According to all the YouTube videos they're trying to feed me, we did not put a man on the moon.
Excellent footage.
Excellent footage.
Well, welcome in, everybody. What can you do for your country? That's a great question, and that's what he said. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Boyd. And I'll tell you, here's my entire plan.
Oh, God.
There's
no good ending to this.
More
chat,
more painting in Carefree. That's what I've decided. Carefree Arizona needs more paint, and they would be into it. My life goal is to bring more paint to Carefree Arizona.
I don't know how we got here, chat.
If y'all need to know where that is, look it up on the map.
Should be held accountable for this, but I don't.
You're
know.
going to be my main benefactor.
It ain't gonna happen.
My main fundraising
That's
guy.
Not gonna happen. Do not call me.
Philip says everyone knows we had to go to the moon to get the Transformers spaceship.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Put the cube in my chest, Sam.
Sam Witwicky.
Samuel James Winwicky.
Witwicky.
Fate really calls upon us in a moment of our choosing.
Oh God. Chat.
You'll never stop at one.
Chat. All I can do is apologize.
Hey, we're after hours, so I can do whatever I want now.
All I can do is apologize.
Whoa! Somebody's super cool car just roared. That might have been Ryan's.
How do you let us go past 4?
It's 4:15, man.
What are you doing?
What are you talking about? What am I doing?
Why are
I'm
you
a grown
letting us
man.
go late?
This is Monument After Hours. After hours.
I don't understand. Chat, is Chris feeling okay?
We got to pop a chicken in every pot. Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
Avian.
hey,
First
Chris.
thing I'm doing for Carefree, filling the potholes.
Hey, Chris.
Your tax dollars done right.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
What does it sound like when you pop a chicken?
That one. That's it. Did you just become a potato chip commercial? Game delay, yes. I am a potato chip commercial.
All I can do is apologize, chat.
Chris is jealous of First Friday. A Friday? What Friday? Oh, that Friday. Is that what you're trying to say, chat?
Last Friday, where Chat and I had a moment.
Well.
We had a moment, Christopher.
Monument Hobbies is trying to get his army done, so OT. Yeah, that's right. Here for a long time, not for a good time.
Wait a minute.
That's my mod. That is my slogan for running for mayor. That's a perfect slogan. Here for a long time, not for a good time.
I feel like that's probably
First of
not
all,
the
carefree.
way to do that.
Let's clean up our well water. We're in the desert. We need to clean up our well water, and let's get us getting mail finally to our doors. There you go.
Why don't you move to civilization, Chris?
I love where I live.
Okay.
I do.
Really?
It's actually it's a good
Tarantulas
place.
and all.
Yes. No. Lumberjack said I sent the picture to Lumberjack. He said, "Hey, it's probably it was harmless." One.
It was what?
It was a harmless one. It was an Arizona blonde. Tim, I think that's what you were saying. It was an Arizona blonde. I looked it up when you showed me that. I'm like, oh, it was a beautiful spider. Now, if it was in my house, different story.
It'd be dead.
I would have gone guerrilla warfare on that thing. Just would take it out. But outside, they're beautiful creatures, and I would never do that. So, yeah. Lumberjack says yes. And I will not try to pronounce the scientific name that you just posted, Mr. Tim.
Scarapulus terribilis.
It's right here. I won't do it. Last Friday was super professional. That's what I heard. It was a mature male. One would say, I'm a mature male. 1 second. Hold.
Except they wouldn't be able to tell it just by looking at you on the porch.
Oh, no. And the way I jumped, because I'm like, oh, that's a really pretty leaf. Because in my mind, it was dark, right? And I had a package. I'm like, I've never seen a leaf that big. And I was like, holy. I'm like, whoa. I just was not, I was taken back, chat.
You were not prepared.
I was not prepared, no. I also, one evening after it rained, I was in my house, and I'm like, there's a stick in my house. That's weird, because I didn't have my glasses on.
That was a centipede.
That was a centipede, and it was a big one, too.
Those are not friendly.
Gabe, one day when we were having a hobby night, he was using my guest bathroom, and a massive scorpion crawled out from behind the toilet and into my cabinets, and I have still yet to find that thing. It's not good.
That's in your bed.
It's somewhere. But they eat the bugs. The spiders eat the bugs.
Scorpions are not spiders.
Well, I mean, the spiders do. The scorpions do eat the bugs too, but the scorpions are not fun.
The scorpions are very territorial.
Yeah.
You get pissed off and like to nest in places like, your mattress.
Yeah. So, skidoo-doo-doo-doo. I'm infested. I've got animals, okay? If I didn't have a small gate to my porch, the amount of javelina I would have on my porch daily would probably be wild. So,
yeah, they're not your friends either.
They're not, and they love my cactus that I grow.
Sounds like we need a live show
of my house,
of just Chris's antics in the wilderness.
It's really not the wilderness. It's a town. It's an established place.
So let me explain something to you, Chris. No place with centipedes, tarantulas, and javelina hogs on your porch is not the wilderness.
You know what's wild? A deer ran out in front of my car a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
A full-size deer.
Yeah?
Yeah, because we get those up near Lake Bartlett.
Yeah.
Next is the mountain lions, which we do have mountain lions too. Chris's Wild Kingdom. Chris set up a ring cam. I know. I actually have a ring cam that I need to get set up. Christopher, tell the knock knock. Oh, no. Okay. I will do this. Dang it. You guys. Okay. Jason, you ready for story time?
No. Chat.
This is true.
Paid professional
No.
apologies. He's
Okay.
going to start saying that it's after hours, so
It is
doesn't
after hours.
matter.
This
he can do
is-
what he wants.
this
and
is
yada
hol-
yada blah blah blah.
This is hilarious. Okay. So I was on Discord with Philip and Gabe, and we were just all just yapping. We were having a painting night over Discord. And I hear a knock at my window. Straight up.
Oh, this was hilarious. I have heard this.
Yeah, you know this story. I hear a legit knock at my window, just like a... It was so real to me. I threw my headphones off, and I was like, oh, shoot. Some whack job is at my window right now. So I get in my car, because my window backs up to, what's it called, NEOS land, where you can't build, and it's just raw government desert.
Right.
And I'm like, well, some wacko creepo is coming for me, and I'm ready to die. So I'm ready to fight. So I get in my car with a massive flashlight and drive around this wash. And I come back, and
They're
Gabe
laughing.
and Philip are laughing because it was a sound effect on Discord. You all know the one I'm talking about. And I was like, dang it. It was so dumb. I just was like, gosh dang it. It sounded so real because I have these crappy Logitech call center headphones and that I use. And it was 100% real. And yeah, Philip says I was gone for 20 minutes. It was like I just threw my headphones off and I'm like, I'm finding this mother. Anyway, that's me.
Welcome to Chris, chat.
Yes. Lumberjack says, my Ring camera only catches meth heads and homeless people. They'd be catching a lot on mine. Actually, I'm more nervous to set up my Ring cam to know what's outside my wash at night.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd be willing to do that at my house.
My parents have one. They have a bobcat that stalks their backyard. Because my mom is like freaking Snow White, where she'll like feed these quail. And outside my parents' backyard, my mom will start whistling and like 50 quail will come up and she like throws seeds, like feeding the nature right out the back. And there's so many quail. We don't live in society.
Feeding the nature.
She does.
Nature.
You want to know what? My mom is so crazy that she waters the desert plants. Because she's like, they need water. I'm like, it's the desert.
Well, they still need water, Chris.
That's true, but you shouldn't be watering the desert.
They don't live.
Let it die.
They don't live on Gatorade.
If he stayed 20 seconds longer, he would have heard us talking about how real the fake sound was we just played. I know. I didn't even hesitate. I went into fight or flight mode. I was just like, all right.
They're coming for me.
Time to defend my land. Anyway. What are you going to do?
Well,
Nothing.
How do we start this, Chris? How do we tell you what you should do?
Never trust my friends.
Yeah. Well, I don't think were they trying to get you? I don't think so.
They weren't, but they are. They weren't, but they are.
I don't think so.
They do it for the reaction. I know my friends too well. I gotta just start being just dead to their advances, you know?
Dead to their advances.
Yeah.
That makes it seem like they're coming to date you or something.
Nah, there's something, man. They're always trying to get me. They're always trying to rib me. And they know they'll get the reaction. So maybe I just need to just start being boring, Jason. That's what I've decided.
That you need to start being boring?
And be like, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Yeah, man. It's old man Ironwood. I get it. Whatever. I can't even fake that. It's a travesty. It's a travesty. Threw up my hands in dismay.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know what I'm dealing with here.
Welcome in, everybody. We're painting up some blood angels tonight. Some non-metallic metal trim. And by trim, I mean the trim of his armor.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Jason?
Yeah. It's what we do.
It is what we do.
A lot.
It's looking good.
There's a lot here. Tired of it.
You're tired of it.
Yeah, is that a lot?
You're making good progress, though.
You still have to go with one more color.
After this, but this is that jump you typically will take where it's like, okay, this is what
Yeah, the
makes
next color is
jump,
white blue.
which then makes that bigger jump of metallic, not metallic metal.
Yeah, we get the shine in the next jump. So,
Bye, Philip. Good
Philip.
luck out there.
Philip, don't leave me alone.
Good luck out there, Phil. Don't say that I didn't.
Philip, you can't leave me alone.
Say
You
good
can't leave
luck.
me like this, Phil. You can't let him.
Jason can end any time he likes.
You can't let him
He
keep
is
doing
the
this to me.
captain. I am the ship.
Oh, here we go.
You are the ocean, chap. In my contract, it says anytime after 4 p.m. is fair game.
For what?
Just whatever, man.
You don't have a contract.
I know. I just made it up.
Oh.
Hear ye, hear ye. Here it is right here. It's on these little sticky notes.
You found a little sticky note?
We the people. That's right. You know what? Lumberjack Tim's getting it lately. We the people. That's right. We the people.
Tim, I need you to not egg him on.
Don't egg me on.
This is not how you become the official truck driver for Monument Hobbies.
That comment, Chris, just really, really gave me the ick. I don't know what you're talking about, Stan. If you don't like it, you don't have to order it. You know? I'm writing your name down, Stan. You're on my little yellow notepad now.
Paid professional chat.
I think
now
so.
he's threatening you.
I'm not threatening anybody.
I think that was a veiled threat.
I'm
writing your name down.
I'm just cautioning the world.
That's like Santa Claus saying you're on my list.
Ho, ho, ho. Santa Claus. I like that. Full circle.
Oh, that it. Oh,
Look at you, Tannenbaum. Oh. That's on you.
I will kill a man.
I'll fight.
I will kill a man.
I'm ready. Hey,
ready
this
to
is looking
die.
good. Chat is the ocean. That's right.
Ready to die. Don't know how we got here.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
How are you feeling up there, Jason? How are you feeling about this army?
I need a drink of vodka.
How are you feeling about this army, Jason?
Chris is a sovereign citizen and does not recognize your authority. You have no jurisdiction over me.
I don't.
How am I feeling about the army? I'm loving it.
It's looking great.
I'm loving it.
I'm hoping we're having a little hobby night tomorrow. Chance, I'm going over to Chance's and we're looking at the prints. Trying to get my prints going.
Look at you.
So that then, when Jason invites me to a hobby night, I'd be like, great, I've got something to hobby. Without having to transport my Titan.
I mean, I'll be hobby nighting tomorrow.
You
Here.
will?
Here.
I don't know about that.
Every night. I've said I will be here.
You have a lot of building to do.
I have a lot of building I have to do. Yes.
You have too much building. Papa J Dread is looking sweet, says Eric.
Hello. Thank you. Now it's time for just
White blue?
Edge highlights in white blue.
Lumberjack, I am going to be doing, after I finish my Titan and my Horus Heresy army, I will be pivoting to my Earthworm Jim model, I've decided. I have found a company, or not a company, I just found a listing of somebody who makes these rubber tires, right? These little not for like RC cars, they're just small mini rubber tire packs, and there's like 100 of them, which is what I'm going to make the whole base out of. Yes, you have been hearing it for a long time, but the problem is they sucked me in to stinking Horus Heresy because everybody's playing it. So I'm like, okay, what's my army? I'm like, well, I have a Titan. So I got super into that because it's super fun. And now I have to build a legit army because nobody's going to play my Titan, or they'll play it once.
Nor should they.
But it'd be fun. Take it down.
For you.
No, bring it down, scenario. Bring it down. They'll have fun. They'll have fun, all right.
They have to also have Titans.
No, they'll be fine. Oh, it's raining.
It's raining. What the heck?
It's raining? I know of a place. It's raining hard, dude. That's rain unless somebody's peeing on our
Can you
roof.
pop in a little closer
Heck yeah.
so you can see what I'm doing here? Notice how now we're going to get that kind of oily steel look just with very little paint. We're not trying to actually blend this into areas very much. We're just going for edges at first and a couple of spots like on cylinders where we have like this poke of light on the cylinder of the arm there.
Yeah.
Right. And you notice how I've been able to paint this stuff really rough. Look at this. No blending. It's just hacked on there.
But it looks
But the
cohesive.
line, the line work that we do will pull it all together and make it look a lot better than the effort that we put in the base coats, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So the goal here is to show you that you don't have to take a tremendous amount of time and effort to like blend those base coats, because the final touch is what will smooth it out. Right.
Yeah.
So you can see that, and that looks on par with the rest of the paint job. Whereas the base coats and the blue and stuff were just kind of like we've been talking about, very loosely applied, much more texture and not really a care to smoothness.
Yeah. Estrello says Titans are so bad in HH. No.
I don't know what book you're reading.
No. So you can be a little bit more sketchy when it comes to applying this last bit to really make it pop out, is what you're saying.
No,
right?
you have to be careful with the last bit. That
Okay,
lets the
I see.
sketchiness of the first parts not matter.
Okay. Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So it lets you speed up the application of paint where you can be fast and not have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you come back into your fine highlights, you just spend the time to make sure you get those nice lines done. And having that nice outline is going to bring all of the rest of it into focus and make sure it doesn't look like you just kind of loosely textured all this on.
Stan says, I hobby night every night whilst watching the stream. Nice.
Awesome.
I love that.
Jealous.
I hope you do. Stan says, question for both Chris and Jason. How long have you been into Warhammer? Myself, I only started in 2024 January. I had bad motorbike crash and lost the ability to ride, so now I needed a new hobby and Warhammer was calling.
First off, glad you were able to still have a hobby after a motorcycle crash.
That's tough.
And second, welcome to it. I have been painting miniatures in various forms and fashion for over 45 years.
When did you get into Warhammer?
Warhammer I found in the late 90s.
Late 90s? Okay.
Yeah. And then really only spent a lot of time on it in the early 2000s. Now, that's kind of a weird thing because remember, Citadel made miniatures of like Chaos Warriors for D&D and stuff before that. So I'd been painting what would become Games Workshop miniatures, the old Chaos Warriors and stuff, for years.
I didn't realize
but they were not part of a game.
Hero Quest was owned. That was a Games Workshop game.
Yeah.
In the years and years ago.
And then they licensed it out.
Yeah.
So I have been painting miniatures. I really started on my miniatures journey. I was a scale model guy before miniatures.
Yeah.
And then miniatures came about when I discovered stuff like Dungeons and Dragons was the first.
Yeah.
And then quick on the heels of D&D would have been the first edition of BattleTech. And then after BattleTech would be like Starfleet Battles and other stuff. But miniature games weren't very popular back then. There just weren't a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it was really, miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons and BattleTech that was my life for so long when painting miniatures. And then the occasional, like I said, Citadel box set of Chaos Warriors, the old ones that were like single pose.
Yeah.
And then I got some Rogue Trader minis that had the old Space Marines that were not enhanced humans. They were just dudes and girls in armor.
Yeah.
They were, because it was a Starship Troopers ripoff is what it was. And so I painted up some of those, not knowing what they were for, not knowing there was a game or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until the late 90s when I moved up to New York that I ran into some guys at a comic book shop that were actually playing Warhammer.
The actual game.
Yeah. And then I think at the time it was like maybe 99, 98, 99, something like that, where I bought the Imperial Fists It was the Space Marine Battle Force, the old huge box Battle Forces, and Imperial Fists were the ones on the cover, and I bought those back when most of them still had metal bodies for any of the non-regular troopers. The only thing that was in plastic sprues was like the Sergeant close combat weapon sprue and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been painting models for a long time.
I bought my first Tyranids and Necrons box years and years ago, like 10 years ago. But I painted them up very quickly, but never actually, because I had saw a couple things online, and I played Dawn of War, a lot of Dawn of War.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, this would be kind of cool. And then I stopped because obviously I did not have anybody to play with, and all I was doing was working. Then about 2000, probably about 4 years ago, that's when Gabe and I were starting to get really close, and he was super into board games, and I'm super into board games. I'm like, okay, I've always wanted to try this. It looks cool, right? These models look cool. Do you want to go buy a box of Age of Sigmar stuff? Just because it was cool, and then the rest is history after that.
And he found Pro Acryl paints.
Yes, unfortunately late in the game, to be honest, which made my painting journey way much more enjoyable. Because I'm noticing a lot of those comments like, hey, do I need a retarder or do I need this thinner? What do I need for medium wise? Like, because I was doing that whole thing. I remember watching videos and making like the medium with the soap, like watching the dish people make little mediums with dish soap and like clear paint, like mad chemisting it. So then I ended up not wanting to paint anything. So I was really basic.
You're like, that's too much.
Yeah. And then I ended up like, well, I'm just going to make my armies weird. And that's when I started gluing rocks to the models. and
which will forever be endearing.
Yes. And then like even my whole goblin army is monochrome, just with the light of the bad moon. Now I like that, and I would like to redo that with Monument Hobbies paints. But then Philip started working here, and got us into it. And then that's when I met Jason many buildings ago, and the rest is history. And here I'm at.
You only met me one building ago.
Sorry, not many buildings ago. I meant many, like, it seems like an eternity
There's
ago.
a lot that's changed since then.
Yes. And here we go. Lumberjack says, I got lucky and found Monument Hobbies a few months into my journey back in 2020. Yeah. So anyway, that's what, then I'm like, I can just use water?
Yeah, you don't have to do anything.
Is that what I have to do? Can I
Well, I mean, that's the whole goal of this paint, is to eliminate all of the nonsense that somebody has to think they have to go through just to put paint on a model. And most of it stems from the paints being made not for models, but for other industries.
Yep.
And so we wanted to really set out to make a paint that was made specifically for painting models, but with a very artistic mind in that manufacture, so that they were also really great colors, really vibrant, all that stuff. So
yeah. So I definitely I use like one of the, I don't use a wet palette either. I have a piece of glass at home, but I use the little tins, and then reprime that with our gray primer. I like doing that. Reprime my little palette, and that's it. And over here, I thought there was a method to Jason's dirty palette for a year. I'm like, oh, well, Jason does that. I'm like, okay, let's see if there's some merit to that. And then just come to find out that he just didn't clean it.
It's just me being lazy, dude.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, okay, he doesn't like cleaning it. There you go. Now someone has that on their wall. Stan says, I found Procurel after watching a Ninja video in April. Bought your base and expansion sets, not the signature sets at that point. I've been fleeting between Procurel and other brands until last month. Then I watched a video / older stream, and it was a very good one where Jason really explained how Procurel is different and how to use it. I bought the rest of the paint shortly after, and now I'm solely use Procurel. Once you understand how
That's
the paint
awesome.
behaves, it's like nothing else I've used.
Yeah, we fall victim a lot to the need that people have for new things to act the same way as old things, right? If you get something new and it acts differently, some people are like, I don't know, it doesn't seem to work. And I'm like, well, it won't work exactly the same, so we need to spend some time. So that's why, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we've always done the stream.
Yeah.
Why we love being able to be here and talk with people and have them ask questions and things like that, because it is a different experience painting with a true artist paint.
Yeah.
But it's easier at the long end, right? It's like once you invest the time, it should be a lot easier to grasp. Now look at that arm. Ta-da!
It's looking great.
Now it's a huge difference. See that jump, everybody?
Yeah, I mean, look at the leg.
Yeah, look, it's metal.
Right, so it's the thing that makes you get the reflective look is taking that distant jump from the last color to this bright color, because this white blue is as bright as we'll go.
Yeah.
We could use white, but that gets overly bright. So here it's that jump. It's the jump to the bright pale yellow on the gold and the jump to the white blue on the steel.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you don't go too bright with your previous color, otherwise it just looks like a normal blend, and you'll lose the reflective feel. It'll just look like a painted color, you know.
Yep.
And so we have to be careful as we grow, and then get into the brightness, and then you can kind of feather as you need to if you need to match your blend out better, like I'm doing here. But that jump is what gives it a shine.
Next one, Ono says, hey, guys, salutations for both of you. I live in Mexico, and so far I don't know where to find Procurel paints. Sometimes they're available as single paints. I do own Bold Titanium White. I would like to have more. Do you have plans for future expansion?
Where are
to
you at in
Mexican
Mexico?
lands? Yeah,
Mexico
where are
City?
you? Yeah.
El Noveno Reno. Check out El Noveno Reno. They have a web store as well.
Yeah. Lumberjack says, I remember Sam Len's rated right when Jason was doing a demo. I was cooking dinner and almost ruined it because I stopped everything because Jason was saying what Jason was saying was making sense. I never turned back.
Thank you.
Panic Bomb says, I saw Monument in my recommendations and Jason was painting Battletech. That's how I got here. You did paint a lot of Battletech.
Well, we did it all at once too. We didn't paint much after that.
Oh.
And haven't, you know, and didn't
Yeah,
paint
that's
much
true.
before that, but we painted an entire battalion of battle mechs.
Mexican always says, not Mexico City. I live near Monterrey. Monterrey?
You could still get El Noveno Reno to send it to you, and that would be easier.
You can look up our FLGS. There you go. Link. That will help you as well.
Yeah. But yeah, they are our distributor down there and can get you any of the paints, any and all of the colors.
Ooh, look at that. What's that? That's the side of his knee?
Side of the knee, yeah.
Yeah, look at that reflection at that level. Like, obviously, that's where it looks like punched in, but at this level, you're really starting to see the shine come through.
Yeah. Like I said, this takes a lot of time, but it isn't hard. The hardest part is just getting the highlight where you need it, and making sure that your line isn't too thick, right? The big problem with doing the edge highlighting is doing big chonky lines. So you want to keep your lines very thin, nice point on the brush. You know, first application is pseudo thin if you need it to be like that. Next application, less water on the brush, and then just hit towards the brightest areas, like maybe out here towards the toe.
Tech Elf, did Monument Standard Time change and I missed it? No.
Chris hasn't told us it's quitting time yet. And I said I was going to hobby late, So he is allowing us
I'm holding him hostage.
some extra time. I'm still worried about what I owe him for this. So
No, it just rained. So I'm also just washed my car the other day. So that's cool. It happens every time.
I tell you what, Arizona rain, worst. Because all it does is make your car dirty.
It makes it the worst kind of. I just heard it. Well, that was thick rain. We just got whatever we just got was just a little cloud. It was just like. Awkwardish, yeah. I was just seeing you over on your side. Did you just stop streaming Awkwardish? You might have. Hiya from Lurker, everyone. Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. We're doing the highlights, the final little shine spots on our non-metallic steel here,
Jason,
or whatever the hell this is.
Yeah, are you gonna do to those exhaust pipes?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna do that like color thing where they have like soot or they like turn purpley? What's that
I would
called?
probably do the more of a soot.
Okay.
So what we see as that heat flare that happens on metal, where you get the blue and the orange and the magenta kind of discoloring.
Jen's asking how late are you planning to stream?
I don't know, babe.
We can stop. I'm holding him hostage.
I told Chris I was going to stay up here in hobby.
I know. I'm holding him hostage.
And then it just kept turning into longer and longer to stream, which is great. Do you need me home? This is
busted.
it, chat. We've been found out.
Says I've been busted. This was Jason's idea, by the way.
Whoa.
He gave me his little secret code.
Whoa.
He was like, "Hey, Chris, da-doo-da-ding, da-doo-da-doo-da-shling.
Da-doo-da-doodle-shling." They've never been said.
What's up, everybody? This is Monument After Hours.
Monument After Hours. Wait a minute. That sounds like...
After
Yeah,
Hours.
exactly. I feel like I have way too much clothing for Monument After Hours.
You just turned on your hotel TV. Ooh.
That hip. Work that hip, girl. Shoot.
You are painting the hip. I see what you did there.
That's the way I did that.
Oh, I see. I got it. I'm going to go shut the gate. Be right back.
Phil didn't do that?
He might not have. Might have thought somebody did.
Who would have done it, Phil? The back gate was not closed. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's... Gotcha. When do we get to see Chris dancing in a miniskirt singing Pick Up the Phone? You be careful what you ask for around here. I'm just going to leave it at that. Right? This is Chris we're talking about. And it does get a little nuts. So that's looking pretty good on that side, yeah? Again, the question was posed before, like, what's the difference in army painting versus display painting? And you're seeing it now. Like, I'm just highlighting these things to make them look shiny. I'm not taking into account that maybe there wouldn't be as much shine on the foot. Don't care. Not rating in my my head here. I'm like, I just want everything to look like steel. So there won't be as directed of a light source, not as much of a dramatic effect at the end of the day when painting these, but they'll still look really good. Chris is in there. I'm coming.
Oh, Jason.
It was the back gate she was talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Jason,
Sir, yes, sir.
I'm a little perplexed.
Oh, God.
Okay. We heard rain, right?
Yes, 100%.
There's no sign of rain.
None?
0.
It definitely rained.
Did it dry up that fast?
Yeah, it must have. I
'Cause
mean, that's been about an hour ago.
I guess so. But like it must have dried up so fast because it does not look like it rained. That's the desert, says Sugar Rush. Jen, I got it. Awkwarder says, Jason, that looks great.
Thank you.
Oh, Jen says it rained, but just barely. Great. Otherwise, I was about to say we're under attack.
Just very quick, again, we call this wish.com non-metallic metal. It's not anything that anybody out there can't do. The only real hard thing about it is the placement of your light. As all things we talk about, you need to, take a little bit of time to study how reflections happen on particular shapes.
Yeah.
But nothing I'm doing here is hard once you have, a little bit of an understanding there, or, at least the ability to not be frightened of throwing some highlight on these shapes. And you're off and running. And it can look really good without being very complex. It's all about getting that contrast with that brighter little peak of shine against a darker backdrop. Bingo bango, works like a champ.
Awkward says, not the non-metallic metal you get off Wish. Jason's non-metallic metal, that's his Wish.com metallic metal, is very inspiring. Hopefully this helps you guys think about how to approach it. It always makes me think about how to approach it.
Good.
That means I have to figure out, I think what I'm going to do is maybe attempt non-metallic metal on my Dreadnought when I paint Earthworm Jim.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's what I do. Right.
All right. A lot to take. That's a lot to bite off.
Maybe it's too much.
I'm always telling people, like, your first thing should not be trying to do non-metallic gold custodes. Just gonna throw it out there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was gonna do it kind of like how you did your ghost keel.
Yeah.
Your workup.
Yeah, that was also kind of a Wish.com non-metallic metal, right? It's the same concept that we're using here, just done with all the Payne's gray, and this is even simpler.
Yeah, that looks.
This was just done. This was just done like even faster than what I'm doing here. So another good look at saying like, okay, how can I do the non-metallic thing on an army that I want to get done even quicker than what we're doing here? And that would be this. This is kind of the in between.
Yeah.
This is kind of the in-between of the ultramarine and being able to do it. You could do this, and this was super simple. I think this was 3 coats of paint to do the metal.
That's what I'm going to do to my Earthworm Jim right there.
Yeah, and it still gives you a good, like, dark, gunmetal on all these things, but it's just super simple.
Yep.
Right? Again, it's just that you go with that contrast, right? You go from a darker base, and then it all of a sudden jumps to a bright color on the edges, and it gives you that feeling of, a shiny surface. And you can do that with any color, and if you do it with colors that the eye are used to seeing as, steel and gold, then they look like steel and gold. If you do it with colors like yellow and blues and things like that, then it just looks like shiny paint. And that's the cool part, is that you can do anything with this kind of painting, not just non-metallic metal. You can just make shiny armor.
Yep.
Up to you. Sky's the limit. Once you learn it, once you get comfortable with that jump that is so tricky for most people, because you learn your entire beginning in painting being told by everybody to keep your blend smooth, multiple thin coats, right? And at the end of the day, what you're really going for with this is you do the thin coats for the first couple of layers, and then you throw white on it, almost. Not white, but you get my drift. You throw a very bright color over the top of it before you're ready to. And when you do it right, again, you have to avoid big chunky lines. I got to be, very careful with how thick my color gets.
Yeah.
Where I place it. I can't just put it on every surface, or it starts to blow out the contrast. But as you can see, it's very simple to just get a neat, shiny surface feel.
Tech Elf says, FYI, I'm blaming you guys for me finally breaking down and buying Battle Force, Magakin, and Nurgle. You're blaming us?
I don't know. I never said buy those things. Did I?
Maybe. Maybe it was our paint that did it.
Did I?
Maybe it's our stuff that did it.
It's all this nerd talk.
I love Nurgle. Nurgle is so fun to paint.
It's all this nerd stuff that did it. That's the other thing that I've thought about doing. Not Nurgle, but I've thought about painting my other army, Death Guard.
For Horus Heresy?
Death Guard has like Nathaniel Garrow and stuff like that. So there are...
was Death Guard like Nurgly in Horus Heresy?
Only at the end.
Okay, only at the end.
Yeah, only at the end when they, when
they got cursed.
Mortarion lost in a book called The Buried Blade. It's one of the last books before the Siege of Terra, where he was still on the verge of not following Horus and going back to the Emperor. Mortarion's it's a good story because he was one of those guys who didn't really buy into the whole thing. He hated magic. And he hated a lot of what was going on, but in the end, Nurgle swayed him. Nurgle created a disease that actually made his Marines start dying, and conned him into saying, "I can save them, but you have to pledge your loyalty to me." And he did. And by saving him, he basically said they won't ever die. And what they did is become the zombies that they are.
Rav, no spoilers. Hey, we talk about this stuff, so if you're not a no spoilers person.
There can't be spoilers for an idea that's been around for 35 years.
It's too long. That's on you.
Yeah, careful, because with regards to like Horus Heresy and Warhammer books, we will talk about it all.
Well, that's kind of because we also talk about the themes a lot too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the story. Honestly, even I'm noticing with that kind of stuff, even with your spoilers, in quotes, it's not...
Well, the reality is we've known that story since before those books existed.
Yeah. It's
the fleshing out of how the story happened.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that the Emperor slays Horus, and Horus hits a near-death blow to the Emperor and puts him on the Golden Throne.
Yeah.
We knew that before they fleshed any of the rest of it out. It was the telling of that story and how it came to pass that is the most interesting part. So,
yeah,
go and read them. I'm rereading it for the third freaking time. And the whole series, and I'm on Galaxy in Flames right now, and there's nuances that get better every time, and I thought I knew everything that happened already.
Oh, that's why I love reading Similarian and all the Tolkien books, because every time I pick them up, I'm like, ooh,
you can pick up on something new, think about it in a different way that you hadn't thought of before. Yeah, there's all sorts of cool stuff.
Rav says I'm reading the 5th book, Fulgrim.
Yeah, I have never read Fulgrim. I hate The Emperor's Children, so it never appealed to me.
Oh, you don't like The Emperor's Children?
Not an Emperor's Children fan, no.
Why? Just because of the way they tell the story, or you're just one of those guys?
They are despicable.
Oh, you mean like you hate
the way they tell them?
The way they tell them?
Well, the way that they
portray them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're prissy.
Oh, yeah.
Self-entitled, narcissistic, horrible.
Yeah.
Right, especially their Primarch, but they're like Eidolon, their Lord Captain Eidolon.
I thought that was Fulgrim.
Fulgrim is their Primarch.
Okay, got it.
But Lord Captain Eidolon is the first captain of their forces and chosen of Fulgrim and all that, and Fabius Bile, and they just have a slew of really crappy people that are characterized very good. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like them. Even though they have Saltarvitz, though, and Saltarvitz... See, here's the thing.
Saltarvitz.
People ask me all the time, like, oh, but you gotta go with Harris, with the Chaos guys, because the Emperor's horrible, and blah, 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 daddy issues, and...
and blah, 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 daddy issues.
And I'm like, no, you don't, because there were no stories about the guys in the Loyalist legions that turned, the rare guy that turned, but there's a story for nearly every one of the Chaos Legions that turned about the star hero in their legion who stayed loyal to the Emperor.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And all of those characters became very important, right?
Yep. And then they're still around in 40K.
Not in all cases. A lot of them died.
You talking about the Primarchs?
Huh?
The Primarchs did?
No. The individual troopers, the guys that didn't buy into the schlock that Erebus was pressing.
Sorry. I thought you were talking about
then later that Horus was pressing all the lies and stuff.
Because all the Primarchs lived for a long time, didn't they?
Well, I mean, no. Fulgrim killed the first Primarch. He killed his favorite brother.
Oh, boy.
Ferrus Manus.
Wow. too much. So much lore.
Yeah.
Ferris Manus. All these names you kind of have to say in that, regal tone. Ferris Manus of House Macubius.
The Iron Hands.
Iron Hands, there you go.
Because, of course, he is, if his name's Ferris.
Like Ferris Bueller.
Some of the names are really stupid. Ferris Manus of the Iron Hands.
Ferris Manus.
The Iron Man of the Iron Hands. Why not?
Oh, okay, I get it now.
Ferris
Ferris Manus, the Iron Man. Ferris Man. I get it.
That took him a while, Chad, but he got there.
I might have to read those books. Can I start with the one that talks about the Thunder Warriors?
No.
Is that dumb? Or is it just, I'd be totally lost.
Valdor Birth of the Imperium is not a bad place to get a picture of the times.
Okay.
It does not really depict anything that you probably could start there and have an understanding of what was going on because you heard me talk enough.
I think so.
For a new person, I would not say start there because it presumes a knowledge of the Imperium and the state of the Imperium where we're at in the storyline. Prior to that,
Wad says Primarchs are mostly dead until there's a sales slump.
that's exactly right. Primarchs are mostly dead until they need sales, and then they bring them back in their demonic form. But they have a hard. So let's talk about this. GW has done a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
So many of the Primarchs did not have a death story. Some do. Most don't.
Oh, I see. Because then they can make them live forever.
Right. They can bring them back when necessary. So we've seen that, right? Out of nowhere, Robute Gilliman just shows up out of nowhere, right? And they had him in stasis. His throat had been cut. And they had him in stasis. And then, of course, they bring out the MacGuffin of some suit of armor that'll keep him alive and all this stuff. And they rebirth him and yada, yada, yada. Because they created a character out of nowhere who's supposedly been alive for 10,000 years that can work magic and create technology that nobody else can. Oh. That was the weird thing they did. Oh. They set in this guy, Belisarius Kahl, that is a 40K construct thing. He's a Mechanicum guy who was this tech priest that got kind of ousted because he had crazy ideas. I can invent new stuff when the Mechanicum didn't think you could ever invent anything new. So they created this, and then all of a sudden that's why they brought out all the repulsor tanks and the grav tanks and all the things you have in 40K now that just overnight appeared.
Yeah.
Okay. That one's brutal. That was horrible writing and a horrible injection of nonsense into the lore, but it works. Everybody buys into it now, so it's fine.
Hey, you know what? They're cool models.
Are they though?
I think a lot.
I like the brutality of 40K, the really I like brutal Mortarian architecture of 40K, and now you're bringing things in that are like grav and neat and sci-fi and very new sci-fi.
Yeah,
I think that the grav stuff takes away from that. I really do like the Primaris Marines. I think they did a good job of putting, bringing some focus there.
I like the Mortarion. Is that his name?
Yeah,
he's a cool model.
The big demon one.
From 40K.
Yeah, there's the 30K Primarch one that he's not a demon yet, right. And then the 40K demon one.
Right.
I still think somewhere in the story, Mortarion becomes a loyalist again.
Teachman says 100% will buy Vulcan if Vulcan gets a plastic model.
Yeah, if they bring Vulcan back in 40K, I'm stoked for that. They brought the Lion back and Gilliman back. And
that's all that the Custodes guy, right?
No, Vulcan is the Salamanders. Yeah, I mean, there's a world where Constantine Valdor comes back but they aren't writing that book, so we don't know.
Oh, yeah, I guess they kept it open-ended so that they can do that, make sales,
they
write more stories.
Ended Beckwin's last book on the Inquisitor series. They ended her book with it being that we've named the King in yellow, and it's Constantine Valdor. At least that's the impression we're left with. But, they did it in a way where they could, walk it back, probably.
Huh.
So interesting. We talk about that a lot when the books, the revelatory books and things happen, but they haven't done anything with it, so it's hard to tell what their plan is. And they keep it that way because of the commercial aspect of selling models, so they can't just lock themselves into one thing they would have to do, and I understand that to some extent.
Yeah.
But
Tim
it
said-
does kind of suck that, one of my favorite world building storytelling things of all time is kind of locked behind the need to sell models,
I guess that's
And it's like,
true.
it'd be kind of cool if you just tell a cool story, damn it.
Lumberjack says, I'll never, 100% will never buy a Primark.
You will never buy any 40K models. Shush.
T. Schmidt, I really need to go re-listen to Beckwin. Bunch of revelations in the last book.
Tons.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool...
They just haven't moved the story forward in years now. What's going on? Come on, G-Dub.
Plot twist is actually Alfarius.
No.
Ryan's asking, when will brushes be back in stock?
They're slowly coming in. Some tomorrow.
Are they doing some QA on them?
Yeah.
Hey, Mondo. Thank you so much for that sub. 6 months.
We
Thank you so much.
unfortunately had a big hang up in customs with the stuff from Germany because of all the new customs rules. So companies that are shipping are having to,
Pivot.
mind their P's and Q's a little differently. And that cost us a little bit of time, but they're doing further QA as we speak. We got some of them in the end of last week. The rest of them in yesterday. There's a bunch sitting over on Kyle's desk.
Watt says, I really don't keep up with the lore, but I read the Vulcan Hessen is collecting the artifacts of the Primarchs. I fully demand when he gets all 9, he has a magic girl-style transformation sequence and becomes the Primarch.
It's
Hey,
weird
Wad,
on
you
that
do
story
you.
is weird, and I don't know enough of it because the salamanders never really intrigued me as a legion.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they just never did. They never had an interesting story. A lot of the legions have been secondary in the way they've told the stories of them.
Yeah.
The Raven Guard I haven't cared about. The Iron Hands I haven't cared about. It's the big ones. It's the Imperial Fist, the Blood Angels, Black Templars for 40K. Those are the ones that they've spent all their time on and that they've done lots of releases on.
Yeah.
They've occasionally attempted to make salamanders relevant, but they haven't really done a great job in the storytelling to do so.
Killjoy's asking, what is the name of the model you're painting?
This is a Contemptor Incandius Dreadnought. It is a Dreadnought with a jump pack. It's a 30K exclusive to Blood Angels model.
And that's a Forge World one. But
Well,
you've had-
nowadays it's just the 14 up or 15 plus expert models from GW. I have 2 of them. One of them is the standard Contemptor body from GW that I put the Incandius backpack on, and the other one is the actual full Incandius model. This one is if you bought an Incandius Dreadnought from GW right now, you'd get this. This is a model you can't get anymore because they stopped making the custom legs, bottom torso, shoulders, and all of that stuff for the Legion specific stuff. So this was an old one I had lying around, and then I just took the Incandius backpack from another one and put it on there.
That's cool. I love the knee pad.
Yeah,
That's
these are really
so
cool. I was always blown away that this one that's the special Legion one
Doesn't have the knee pads.
doesn't have the same amount of crazy cool
yeah.
Blood Angel stuff, like the Legion number on the side of the leg, the really cool blood drop on the shoulder. This one just has nothing Legion specific. It's just a swirly bit. It's really strange. This is like the generic Dreadnought with the Blood Angel chest, and nothing else is very Blood Angels on it. And this guy's Blood Angels everything.
Yeah.
Kill for Sanguinius. It's all just tears and skulls and wings, and yeah, it's just...
Well, these kids will never know the pain we went through in the Great Brush Depression a few years ago. You guys like our stuff? Wad says, I literally just like lizards and fire. There you go.
Lizards and fire?
Salamanders.
Oh. Yeah. No, I love the
I
idea
love
of
green.
them. I just never, in the books is where I got a lot, because I played fantasy when I worked at GW and all through that. 40K didn't really matter to me. I had read some books about Space Marines, but the 40K lore at the time that was any good was all the Gaunt's Ghost stuff.
Okay.
And it didn't really focus on Space Marines. All the Space Marine stuff they had was really kind of just chintzy anthology stories. There might have been a few stories that were good early on, but there was no Horus Heresy stuff, right? It wasn't until the Heresy books started coming out that Space Marines became a big focus for me. So I was into fantasy. and the fantasy books weren't great.
Yeah.
And the Gaunt's Ghost books were miraculous. They were like some of the best fiction ever. And so I was like really into the Gaunt's Ghost series, but didn't really want to paint a million, military models like that for an army.
Uh-huh.
So I'm glazing the white blue on, by the way, to get this spherical stuff done. I can't do the same really opaque lining first. I have to glaze it on there because these bigger open surfaces.
Yeah.
So just using it a little bit thinner to seat it inside of those other colors first. And then we'll outline the edges and stuff after.
Stan says, Jason, are you planning on painting this entire army on stream, or are you painting other bits of it behind the scenes?
Some I'm painting behind the scenes, but we've kind of said that the bulk of it, I think something from every unit will get shown.
Yeah, I think you guys are getting the point a lot with it, though, right? Because what Jason just said, he's pinpointing different parts of each unit, and then obviously you know what he's doing at this point, right? So
I guess you guys have to really help me understand, because I'm careful about not wanting to have you guys get bored staring at the same kind of stuff all the time. And 50 million Blood Angels later, how bored are you? And that would be my question to you guys in chat. And if you say, no, we want to see the whole thing come to fruition, we want to see it, and we want to be here on the day I was there that Blood Angels came alive, then that's great. We can do that. I don't have a problem with it. I just want to make sure we're not boring you to death with a lot of the same repetitive stuff, because that's typically not what we do here. We typically jump from model to model when we have new ideas and things we think people want to see. So a lot of that has to do with chat's, need or want and relevance of the stuff we're doing. I love it. I will paint the whole thing on stream. I don't care. But it does get a little repetitive. We will be saying a lot of the same things over and over. There aren't a lot of models that jump in here that get to be different because it is an all-infantry model or army.
Now, painting a Thunderhawk,
if we paint the Thunderhawk, which we probably will, no
story.
matter if it goes in my list or not, just because I have the model and it's rad.
Ryan just wants you to paint Black Templars on your thumb.
Like a whole army?
I demand you paint a Black Templar on your thumb. I'm
I will
tired
not
of
do
Blood
it.
Angels smack my head.
I will not do it.
I was there when the inception of Eclectic Sam, and I'll be here at the end of the army, says Lumberjack. Well, if Lumberjack says it, we're good.
Well, that started like 2 years ago. So this is a very large investment time-wise for me over the course of a calendar, right?
I mean, Tech Elf says, I'm here for the thrilling banter. That's good. I don't know what thrilling banter is, but if that's what we're doing, God bless you. We're proud of our thrilling banter here.
Yes, 100%.
Game Delay says, I have a need for speed. I didn't know if you were going to say I have a need for tweed. Michael Scott.
From The Office?
Yeah. What color are you using right now? Jason says, Rattle Can.
White, blue.
Eclectic Salmon, still waiting. Hashtag still waiting.
You guys hush.
It's pink trout. I guess my thing, by the time the army is done, there will be 3 more editions released. Hey, Wad.
I'm making progress.
You cool it.
I am actually
Hey,
making good
you
progress
cool it.
here. You be nice to me.
So here's my perspective on it.
Oh, God.
Here's the deal. You ready for this, Jason?
No.
I say that you keep going until you do not want to keep going.
Well, I mentioned
I
today in a
understand.
meeting that, one of the cool things is that I'm really inspired to get this done. So there's a world that I'm in right now in my
Yep.
head that I'm going to finish it, and I'm excited about it.
And people,
We've
think,
very rarely seen me do this.
I know
you
that's
hear me a
what-
lot of times be like, oh, yeah, he says this all the time. But on a
painting-
few armies, I have done it.
you're painting the same thing, but you don't do this ever.
Don't
Not-
do whatever.
Not in the time that I've known you.
Don't do what?
Painted a whole army like this
No.
on stream and take the time to do it.
No.
So technically,
A
this
rare
has never
occasion
happened.
they've seen it. Most of it's been when there have been challenges around it. Do the thing in a week.
Yeah, but this is not that.
No, this is
like,
take my time, do it the way I want it, and I think that the experience is cool. But again, Chad has to say that it's boring,
Yeah.
and really the
Sure.
numbers don't lie. If people are tuning in and watching and enjoying it, and again, we don't do the stream to paint the models. We do the
That's
stream
true.
to help you guys paint your models. And so we've had a lot of really good content, and you guys asking great questions, so that'll continue, and I think we'll have a blast with it. So
I think you're also asking good questions, chat. So that also pivots the entirety of what he's painting, because we have texture trainers. You'll grab one of those and show an example, which you did the other week, right? So Stan's asking, are you planning on painting Sanguinius for this army also? We technically already did.
Well, we didn't finish him, but
We
yes,
didn't
we
finish.
are painting Sanguinius. He is the regional.
You started with him. Well, no, not technically.
I had painted the other guys first, and then we have started in to come up with a way to get Sanguinius in the army. I'm going to redo the gold to match more the way that I'm doing the gold for the army right now, but I'm happy with the wings. I've got to do the bold titanium white on the wings still, but the iridescence on the feathering is done on the wings, and I've got to then work on that. And so now it's really just getting the model to a place where I'm happy with it on the gold.
Yep.
Right. It's a very complicated non-metallic gold, and I was trying to do it in a more cold gold, but I think up against the white wings, I want it to be more warm, like what I've changed the army to. So we'll go back and rework the gold on him. But yeah, we'll have Sanguinius. He won't be in my list, but we'll have him in the army.
Bud says, I'm here hanging with friends.
Ah, huzzah! I'm with you, bud.
You think we came
Painting
here for
with my
painting?
friends.
We came here for gossip, says Sugar Rush.
100%. Wait, what? Gossip? We don't kiss and tell here. That's not who we are.
I think you painting or approaching the Thunderhawk would be a cool example for people to see how to approach a big model.
It's a beast.
That's a huge one. Dilfer says, I'm still here because the stream is dope AF. Hey, we love that.
Thank you. That's what we hope, right? The banter is worth it. The stuff we teach is worth it.
I think you guys like to see the progression.
I mean, we're painting cool models, so that's neat. I just don't have, it's. I do have some neat ones though. I do have some of the other units. When they get done, they're neat, even though they're Space Marines and they look like Space Marines. The nice thing is that we have some really cool units, like the Dawnbreaker cohort is going to be neat. I'm going to redo the non-metallic gold on the Sanguinary Guard. Those will be really cool.
I mean, heck, you've gotten a lot of work done on this Dreadnought just in this stream.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of stuff that really pushes it forward is the thing, right? Because the work
Big
we're
jumps.
doing here actually has a big impact.
I think this will be a cool example when you do these lightning claws.
These are flame.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, flame claws or whatever.
Yeah, these are flame. Perdition
Perdition
blades or whatever they're called. So now I'm just going with the opaque edge highlighting on these things. Did Jen ever tell me when I'm supposed to be home?
Jen? Jen, I know you're there.
May not be.
He can get a lot of work done when you're not pushing him to end stream, Chris. This is true, Stan. I know. I run a tight ship.
Right, so then the edge highlight just kind of ties it all back together.
Truth. I know. Panic Bomb says, think Jen only cared about the gate. Jen says, I was only asked because of the gate. I don't need anything else. So if you're having fun, then keep going. Jen, thank you. Hey, shout out to Jen.
Everybody, you need a Jen in your life.
That's right.
Jen empowers me to do all this tomfoolery.
Stan, does the end of the stream coincide with the work and the work day ending?
Yes.
I live in this room. I don't know what you're talking about.
It
Beep,
does.
beep,
yes.
boop.
It does. We close up shop at Monument Hobbies at 4 p.m. currently, and that's when the show ends. So it is Chris's evening time right now that he is donating to us, which is a big awesome thing. Thank you.
Dapper Walkie. Hey, don't thank me yet.
Don't thank you. Oh, because I don't know what you're
I'm
doing this
kidding.
to. What are you going to ask
Of course.
me for?
I get the bug. I want to see you get things done. You know? I remember the Slow Fuse and Gentastic side-by-side streams. Dapper Walkie. Yeah. We'll get Jen on here. Just ask. We'll schedule it.
And still around. Working in the shadows. Now here's a tricky one, right? Because you have the shine on each of these cylinders, right? They're more like egg shapes,
Because
but
that's where it's coming from.
well, the light's up here,
Right.
right? So the light's coming here. The light's shining across these cylinders here. The problem is that this cylinder becomes a light source that causes a bounce reflection on this cylinder. So you would do a little bit of highlight over here. You can't make it as thick and get away with it, so it has to...
Just a skosh?
Well, you know, you look at the size of this one.
That's pretty big.
And you say, okay, well, I just want to make it, a smaller version of that. So, you know, I do a couple of these little I-beam kind of, letter I's and lines and stuff. Maybe a few little pokes of light along the cylinder here. And then that gives it the ability to feel like that reflective light from that big one. But you just always make sure that this is brighter. Well, not brighter because the same brightness, same color I'm using. But it looks brighter because it's thicker.
Yeah.
And then this one looks skinnier, right? But this is the reflection of that. And that keeps you, again, making it to where when I look at the back of this cylinder, it also doesn't make it to where it's just bright on one side, dark on the other. It brings a little bit of interest into this side, too. And it's just lines. You don't have to spend a lot of time working on it.
Schmidt, I bet chat would be ecstatic to have a Jen Paints Lisa Frank monster stream.
Ooh.
Could be cool. Find a cool model.
We would probably have to give Jen a little bit of warm-up time.
You say that.
So that we didn't freak her out too bad, but she's fearless. She'll jump in here and paint. Got a lot of models that she was working on, believe it or not. Hadn't painted in quite some time.
We had that hobby night a little while ago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She had the salamander going. And for all of you who don't know, we launched the Curin at Nova Open this year. That is our new texture trainer that just came out. So go check that out on the site. I can give you a link right here. But yeah, that one is now available for purchase.
And the salamander will be going away at the end of this month. So we need to announce that here pretty soon and let people know. Your
at the end of
chance to grab yourself a salamander will be coming up soon.
At the end of September. Yep. Zopher says, you make non-metallic metal look so easy.
It really is. It's just, like I say, the biggest thing to practice on is the way that certain shapes reflect light. That is everybody's biggest hang-up. That and being able to make the jump to a bright color very quickly after a mid-tone color without going through the blended colors in between, right? Like my jump to white-blue from a color that was not anywhere near as bright as white-blue is what gives it the shine.
Yeah.
And that's not how we're really taught to paint. You know, we're taught to make things smooth, blends from dark to bright. The more colors you use, the smoother the blend, yada, yada, yada. And it's all true. But you got to throw that out the door when you're doing non-metallic metal or any type of reflective painting. Because it's that bright punch of light on top of a mid-tone or dark color that sells the shine. Trust me, stick around here. The light bulb will go off for you. Can almost guarantee it. Doesn't happen for everybody.
Yeah, I think it does click, and it could be the same subject, but different ways people approach it, which then makes their light bulb go off. I think That's
Yep.
what, like, even though we do similar things just with non-metallic metal, it's on different surfaces. So, like for this, the little reflection back into the other cylinder makes a lot of sense, or makes more sense now that I see it.
And I'm going quick. Like, we call this wish.com. There's no blending happening here. There's no real super attention to detail or anything. This is just speed painting in non-metallic metal to some extent, although I'm not super fast, so that's kind of a lie.
Speed painting, non-metallic metal.
I'm cutting corners here to make it go quicker.
It's a corner cut. Nothing wrong with that every once in a while.
Again, I've got a little bit of shine I can do on the side of this cylinder here.
Dan says 100%. I think that's one of the best things this model, the best thing with this model, the different shapes really do stand out. Yeah, there's a lot of cool shapes on this model, especially the cylinder part, right? Really make it stand out.
Yeah, like zoom in real close.
Yeah.
You'll see just how messy this is.
You say messy, that's pretty clean though.
To me, that's super messy. Right? Because I'm not blending anything.
I see what you're
saying.
saying.
It's literally little shapes and lines inside of lines, inside of, bigger areas. So it's not, it's just edge highlighting and nothing really complicated. Other than the location of the light, which I get. Like I say, I'm very willing to admit that the location of the lighting, getting the shine to go on where it needs to go on, is the hardest part.
Yep.
And that's where all the practice comes in. But you can literally just kind of pick a direction, do the top surface of everything bright, and it might not be right visually across the whole model, but it will look like metal. You'll just have some, that's kind of weird, because some of the shapes won't have the highlight in the right spot, and then that'll help direct you where you need to go. A lot of mine was just trial and error. And like I said, just Googling metal sphere, metal cube, metal cylinder. That's what always does it, is that it gives you something to look at, and then you break the model down into spheres and cubes and cylinders, like I talk about all the time. And that's when it starts to click.
Railcan says, that looks sick. Stan says, Jason, you're doing that thing you said you hate when people do to you.
What?
What are you talking about, Stan?
What do you mean? Oh, are you saying that I'm saying like, oh my God, I didn't spend enough time? No, that's not what I'm doing at all. I'm happy with the way this looks.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with this at all.
Or it's more of like, because I see that and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Stan said yes.
Yeah, no. Don't get that wrong. It's that I'm not displeased with this or trying to hide it. I'm just telling you that this is done quick in a standpoint of, I'm moving pretty quick on these things and not worried about it. That's exactly what I'm expecting to do here. Right?
Yeah.
So I would never hand this to somebody and immediately start backpedaling and say, oh, I could have done a lot better if I'd have spent, I just was going fast. No, I'm like, yeah, check it out.
Quabam!
This is my Blood Angels army. I'm going to put this on the table, and I'm going to be very proud of it. It's awesome.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Right? And
Yeah.
it is. It's going to look good.
I think so, Jason.
How much longer are you planning on going, Chris? It's 5:30, man. Don't you want to get home?
Should we wrap it up?
You tell me.
We could wrap it up.
Yeah. 5:30, man. You've
We
given
could wrap
us
it up.
above and beyond today, buddy.
We can wrap it up. You're also getting a lot of this part done. Oh no, I take it back, says Stan. No, Stan, that's not because of your comment. Yep, Stan, that's on you, man. We're done. Peace. We're out. No, not at all. All right, I'll give you the links. Chat, there you go. Boom. You're getting the links. Uh-oh. Fun time's over. Where's Mo? Mo, you in here? Mo gives me crap for not taking the time. Mo, you better not be. You better be around. History in the making. Oh, which one I did? Oh, the YouTube one. Boom. Links sent.
That, you know the drill. Follow the links. Go check out monumenthobbies.com, the EU site.
Awkwardish.
Our stuff is worldwide. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do this Monday through Friday. I will again be gone tomorrow. So thank you for going late. It makes me feel like I'm being able to spend more time during the week.
Yeah.
That's looking pretty good, yeah?
I
really like the way the backpack is turning out.
I think the backpack. Well, you got. I mean, look at for all of you who are doing this. Go check out the beginning of this. In honor of Mo, get bent.
In honor of Mo, Chris, get bent.
Get bent. Yeah, it is looking good. Go back to the beginning of the stream. That's your proof right there. Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, it's
look
really,
how much work you got
it's a
done.
big model, so it has a lot of detail on it and all that. And we kind of went away from doing the assembly line stuff where we were painting the shoulder plates and stuff on guys. But it's coming together. I'm digging it. Again, my whole goal with things like this is to make sure that after spending time painting, I see forward progress.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like just painting the boots across the whole model. Or on one model, because then you look at the whole army and you're like, oh, what have I done? Whereas on a character model like this, I call them Dreadnoughts character models because they're bigger than any of the other guys in my model, right? Same thing with like the Saturnine guy when we painted him. You know, being able to do this, it's the same type of size and presence. So finishing a model like this in and amongst the rest of them still makes it look like it's moving forward because it has a lot of completion attached to it.
Do you have little schmutz on his shoulder there? What's that?
Maybe. Did I touch it with something?
I think so.
What?
I can't let you go without fixing that. I just noticed it.
What? What is that?
It's just schmutz. What is that?
Like an errant brush stroke? I don't know what that is. Oh, it's cleaning off. It's like a...
dust or
I
something?
don't know what it is.
Huh. Weird. I just noticed it.
Oh, yeah, it wiped right off. Oh, interesting.
Odd.
It was just probably, it might have been like a fuzz from my hand. That's probably what it was. And when I was holding it, it just kind of got off.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you guys for an amazing stream. Says Danger. So chat and hanging in there. We love it. Hey, thanks for hanging in with us. You're why we do this. Isn't that right, Jason?
I do this for fame and fortune.
We do this for the free chocolate milk at some point. That's what I am.
Fame, fortune, and free chocolate milk.
We're getting a sponsor. I don't care what anybody says. We're going to have local farmers come here with their chocolate cows.
Everybody, you guys are troopers, like you said, for hanging in there with us. Hope you enjoyed the long stream. Thank you, Chris, for letting us stream long. An hour and a half extra. Holy crap. What the heck? I'm enjoying this. Hope everybody else is too.
That's right.
It'll be Chris and Baby J again tomorrow working more on the Kieran, so come in and join in on that. That'll be a lot of fun.
That's
and it'll be me again back on Friday. Maybe we'll do a hobby night Friday night?
Maybe. I could do that.
Maybe we'll do a hobby night Friday night. You know what I thought would be cool, and it doesn't have to be this Friday, but I thought it would be cool, like if we were to do something like that, whether it's after stream or on a weekend.
Just set up the camera.
Set it up to where we can all just kind of sit around here and have the hangout night where it's like whoever wants to join in, Gabe, whoever wants to hang out in hobby. We have cameras on the table too. It would be a very casual deal.
I got mics.
So I think, we got microphones for everybody, so it'd be a kind of a thing where we could all sit around and paint and jaw and answer questions from chat, and it would be less of a teaching stream and more of just a tomfoolery hanging out.
That's right.
Kind of stuff like that. Sick Willie's fettuccine and chocolate milk. Dude, Stan, you paid attention, my man.
What? Stan.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay, who are you? Who are you, Stan, and where have you come from?
No, Stan got it the day I promoted it to chat. He was all in.
That's it. Stan, God bless you. Keep it
Hobby
real.
night on stream with the group. I think it'd be great.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out a night. I know Philip's always down.
Philip's always down. Well, as long as he has time. As long as he's not building a house.
I'm glad. That's true. Or his dog.
Yeah, we'll try to get the team together and see if we can't do it maybe on the weekend or if we can pull it together by Friday night. We'll figure it out. I think it would be a lot of fun. So we'll test it out and see how everybody likes it. I think it'd be a great way for everybody to sit around. It'd be just a lot of banter. It'd be kind of like a live, unhinged podcast of hobby goodness. So we'll see how we do it.
I like
Fame and fortune, Indiana Fuse. Yes, 100%. Oh, I hate snakes. Everybody, thanks so much for hanging in there with us. We really love the fact that you spend your well-earned free time or work time with us. Just shh, don't tell your boss. Again, like I said, Baby J and Chris will be here tomorrow. I'll be back here on Friday with you. So have a wonderful day with them tomorrow. We'll see you back here then. Stick around. Chris is going to find you somebody to raid, and we're off into the night. Adios, gang.